Hello.
Hello.
According to this, StreamYard.
Can everyone see us this time? Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to MOC Heads, episode 5. Had a bit of a false start there. This week we've got Planet Tek on, as I'm sure a lot of you know. But we'll bring them in a couple of minutes. We'll just have a quick little catch up.
Yep.
So, how are you doing, guys? How is post-Bricktastic world?
It's good. I've got some ideas of stuff I want to do, and also no idea how I'm going to do ideas that I want to do. So
you've got a whole year. You've got a whole year to figure that out.
Yeah, well, I'm looking. It's like, well, it's the 6th of March. It's less than that now already. So
yeah, okay. What's that? 50 weeks instead of, or 50?
Yeah, something like that.
4 weeks instead of 52.
Yeah, we don't have the luxury of the leap day either anymore. So
yeah, every day counts.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Have you not so much this week as well?
I have been building my Reading Brick Show display. There's nothing big. A couple of 48 by 48 plates. But yeah, they're doing like a medieval theme.
Okay. So just a couple. So
yeah. It's here next to me. Hopefully, if I've got time, I'll do like a smaller thing as well. And then take up a whole table. But yeah, building a medieval tavern at the moment.
You've got a whole table to fill up. Just go nuts.
Yeah, it's time. That's the thing.
Side builds. Well, I mean, if you do the same thing at Steam, you can kind of add more as well then. By the time.
Well, yeah, that's the plan. I can add to it over the year because I'm going to go to Steam, as long as they have me, and then Bricktastic next year if I haven't got bored of it by then and done something completely different for Bricktastic, then I'll build on it again.
Well, that kind of links into the poll, which is that up as well?
Yes.
I can't see it if it is or not.
That should be up. Yes. So we've got a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, go for it.
No, I was going to say, so it kind of links with that, doesn't it? It's like, would you keep it, or do you keep your MOC, not keep it, or
yeah. Maybe. So the poll is, would or do you destroy your MOCs, take your MOCs apart? With the options being yes, never, and depends. And we'll get into it, I reckon, when we get tech in, because I think it can be quite a divisive topic from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
Yeah.
From a people saying, "What? You keep it?"
I'd say hello to some people in the chat as well, because there's some people out there. Hello out there too, Tyson and Gordon and Monarch. Hello, Mark. Polarbricks. Redmond, Gecko. I saw KO out there as well. Hello there, KO. Yep. Tilak, hello. Good to see you. Martin, Madlib. Oh, and I need to give some shout outs actually. And Ulrika.
Hey, Ulrika, cool. That's cool.
And Chris, One Brick Stud. Hello. Good to have you.
Hey, Chris. Yeah. Ulrika.
And I think that's everyone. Sorry if I've missed anyone. I do need to give a quick shout out to Madlib, Kerry Brickapix, and Trevor's videos, who sent over some photos last night of Tek's Podracer. Salmon Tek's Podracer build from Bricktastic. I need to give them a shout out now while I remember.
Well, you remember, yeah. That's right. Yeah. When the conversation's flowing, it's like little details of that sometimes. It's like, who sent that in? It's great, isn't
it? yeah, exactly. Shall we bring tech in with that?
Yeah. Good plan.
Destroy is a hard word. Recycle, recycle's probably better. So I think everyone knows Tek. He's been streaming for as long as I've been watching Lego YouTube, at least. Obviously he's heavily into Star Wars, and we're chatting to him off the back of Bricktastic, where he did a massive display with Sam, not that Sam Smith. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it went and getting to know Tek and his MOC history.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few of them.
Yeah. With that said,
hello
there.
Hello, guys. How are you doing? Thank you for having me on. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine. Like I streamed for the first time since Bricktastic yesterday. I'm happy looking at and building Lego again. Although it wasn't the nicest build to get me back in. I built the Captain Rex helmet.
Okay.
It's one of the last two helmets that I have to build. This one and Cody. I've got them both for my birthday at the end of January. So
that's cool.
So it actually looks really good. It's a lot more of an improvement on the Stormtrooper helmet, like which was one of the first ones
Is
they
it?
did. And they've got like I thought they were going to be very, very similar, just because the helmets are quite similar. But this one is a vast improvement. So yeah, very, very good with it. But yeah, happy to be looking at and working with Lego again. Not quite ready to break out the
no, haven't been too traumatized.
Yeah, keep the tan tiles under wraps.
I just everywhere I go seems to be like residue of dark tan pieces.
That sand gets everywhere. That's the trouble.
It really does. Yeah. Also, it's rough. It gets everywhere.
Hello out there to Tom. Tom being Trev's boy.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah, so if you see Tom the one, Trev has let him loose.
Yeah, cool. It's cool.
Nice.
TJ.
He's already renamed AFOLs as Alfonso's on Mad Lib's stream.
Alfonso's.
Yeah, so I'm adopting that now. Alfonso's instead of AFOLs.
That's gonna stick.
Yeah, it is gonna stick. I'm gonna help make sure of it. But yeah, so life is good after Bricktastic.
It's been good.
Amazing.
Like I said, it was a fantastic weekend in the end. We got there eventually. We're glad not to have you there, Ollie, but next year you'll be there.
Yeah. I've just said I've got the window open to book the hotel.
Yeah, so drag you up there one way or another.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I'm already like I know. I was like I saw the price at the beginning of the week, and I was like, oh my god. I've got a year to save for it. And
I got my hotel. I did the like book now, pay later, I'll worry about it when I get there kind of thing. I have flashbacks to like the last 2 years for Chicago. The hotels have gone like super quick. This year was like ridiculously quick, so I was like, I know Bricktastic isn't quite Chicago. I mean, it's up there, but it's not quite Chicago. But I just have that thing like I don't want to be in the arse end of Manchester, like plodding along at like 6 a.m. because I can't get over.
Well, the prices have gone up already in the last few days. Not masses, but I think it's like at least a tenner, maybe 15 quid.
Yeah.
So there's people are booking them.
Yeah.
I'm sure as their availability gets less, they like notch the price up.
Yeah, that's it. Supply and demand, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait. Wait for next year already.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one. We might actually see a finished pod racer at that one.
Yes, mate. Yeah, we'll get into that. Into that. That's
we'll just say more complete.
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
Cool. So let's kind of start from the beginning of your MOC life, Tek. So yeah, you want to walk us through like how you got into MOCing, what kind of things you like to MOC, inspirations, aspirations, and then we can go from there, I reckon.
Wicked. Okay, so obviously when I was like really young kid, I just like throw Lego bricks about and see what I could come up with. I do remember distinctly having what I thought was the coolest ship in the world, and it was like a mash. I think the front was like Luke's land speeder, and then there's like a load of random parts, and then there was like an X-wing, and I just used to run my figures up and down it. Like, I'm pretty sure I took like a Polaroid picture of it, because I got gifted a Polaroid camera for Christmas when I was younger. And I would die to find that picture of that MOC.
That's cool.
But the days of physical media.
I know, right? Crazy times. But yeah, so I really got into it. I got back into, as a lot of us did, like pandemic time, 2019, end of 2019, early 2020, got back into Lego and stuff. And then I did the kind of usual cycle that a lot of people do, which is get into Lego, buy everything. When everything on the shelf you've got in your backlog, then you go look at retired stuff, you go buy all that stuff that you missed, and then you're like, I've got way too much Lego, and then you're like, I don't want to build sets anymore. So then you get into MOCing, and me and it actually kind of like, we kind of like pushed ourselves, me and my friend Claire and our friend Kevin as well. We were talking at the time about like wanting to do more MOC stuff and wanting to like dedicate an allotted amount of time a week where we would kind of sit down, we'd hang out. It was like good to hang out because Kevin was in Canada, Claire was in San Francisco, and I was obviously here in the UK. So it was nice, and we came up with Mockumentary, and we used to stream on a Monday for like 2 to 3.5 hours, something like that. And it was really good. It just kept us kind of accountable. There'll be often times where we didn't get hardly anything done, me especially, as the procrastinator that I am. But that's kind of where it like really started, I think. And I started a project that I still haven't finished, that I'm sure people in the chat are gonna bring up.
I know which one this is.
But yeah, it's the Friend Cinema. So that for the first episode of Mockumentary, we kind of thought like the best way to kind of get into it would be to kind of take a set and then modify it. I think we all picked Friend sets actually, funnily enough, but I picked the Friend Cinema, and I wanted to make it into like a full modular. And so yeah, I think I did send you a couple of pictures or small videos of those, Ollie. I don't know if you've got them, but
yes, I've got there's a video of the cinema.
Yeah, it's actually a lot more complete in studio. Like the whole interior for downstairs and upstairs is like completely done. I just can't get the building like quite how I want it, but I have said that one of my goals this year is to get that MOC finished, because I think it would be like a nice one to take. I see Mark display his friends stuff at conventions, and it's really fun. And you can in what is like a reasonably sized, like you can have like, I've got a street out the front and it's got like a red carpet, so you can populate it, and you can tell quite a story in quite a confined space, which I really like.
Are you doing mini dolls? Is this do I smell a collab?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I haven't really thought actually which way I'd go with it, whether I do mini dolls or mini figures. I'm not quite sure. Maybe a mix. I don't know. But yeah, and I also tried to build. I think I built the screen where I could put my phone in it, so you could like have
cool,
nice, and things like that. So yeah, it's a project that I really do want to get done this year, because like I said, I think it'd be fun to take to conventions, and it would also get a lot of people off my back. They could stop talking about the cinema. But yeah, it kind of started with that, and then I kind of go through phases of things. Like I'll go and have a big Lego Disney phase, but I'm very much back into my Star Wars at the moment, and Star Wars MOCs is kind of where I'm at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, because it's mostly Star Wars, at least that I've seen you make, right? Other than the cinema, is there much non-Star Wars that you have done or want to do, maybe?
I don't know if there definitely is that I want to do. I don't think I've done much MOCing outside of Star Wars. I've built some like custom builds that other people have designed. But one day in like it's like future plans. I never thought I'd want a city, like a Lego city.
Yeah.
But I've kind of come across a way that I think I could do it that I have fun with it.
I spy a slippery slope.
Yeah, the city bug is like, oh.
Yeah, I think I get it. Yeah. Do you know what? Honestly, if I wasn't doing the pod race and I committed to doing that with Sam, probably like September, October last year, I could have been very close to like starting this project. But basically, what I want to do is a city that is like all custom, and it's all buildings and things, and like all the characters would be from Disney. Like there'd be Disney character, Disney buildings.
Cool.
More specifically, a lot of like the Disney Channel stuff, because that's what I grew up on, like Phineas and Ferb. I want to do the big like Doofenshmirtz Tower, and yeah, just have like loads of stuff like the old cartoon Recess. I want to have the school in there and like have
Recess
figures.
Oh
and,
wow!
Yeah,
that's a blast from the past.
You're right. I know, right? I found myself when I stumbled across it on Disney Plus, probably some point at the early stages of last year, and I was like watching it back. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Excellent.
So yeah, so I just want to just have it where I do that. But yeah, that's like when we've got a separate place, I can have a dedicated space for it, and it would just be something that I kind of slowly work on and probably build as modularly as I can, so I could take it to shows. I think like it would be cool to transport at least like sections of it and take like different sections at different times.
Yeah. I suppose as well, the bigger the convention as well depends on what you take as well, because you could like maybe take a couple and then for a bigger one take, I don't know,
exactly. Yeah. Just kind of like try fill a table or take a so that's like a very long distance kind of mock that I want to do, or project that I want to start, but I need a lot more space and resources.
Yeah, so cities do take up space. That is the thing, right? Because I guess you could do it. Would you do it on like a shelf, or would you have it as a a table-based city?
I think I'd want it on a table, but I do think that at least in the early stages, because there's also like because if I was to do content on it, I like to do like each update be a building from kind of start to finish, so it feels like there's like some start and some end. So each new, like the Recess School would be one episode, the Doofenshmirtz Tower would be another one, and populate it like that kind of thing. But yeah, I think maybe starting it on a shelf because of space reasons would be like a good way to go, and then as it gets bigger and bigger, then I look at having to take space for it.
Nice. I'm just going to pull up the video for your cinema before we move on too far. I just have to line it up because media player seems to be weird. Anyway, right.
I should have sent you some of the pictures of the render of the inside, because I've got like I was like praying that one by one metallic gold tile were going to like appear on the pad walls.
I would love it if any metallic gold appeared on the pad wall. Like they've got the pearl gold stuff every now and then, but
it's really nice though, that when you actually see the pieces, some of them are really nice. Like I think I've got a couple on that I got on a couple of slopes, and they're just nice.
Yeah,
really nice.
I've got a couple here as well. A couple of slopes. I just got on an order the other day.
Hey.
Nice. Yeah, they're so nice. I just want more of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but something.
But it's shiny.
Yeah, literally and shiny.
Yeah. Make a money bin, fill it up with gold, like a Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. Oh, Scrooge McDuck is a good shout for a mock.
That would be very good.
I'm guessing there's never been a Scrooge McDuck.
There was a minifig
set.
Is there? No, he was in the second CMF.
Okay.
I think so, because they had the three of the
yeah,
Louis
and two doing Louis, yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
That's before my Lego time. I was still in my dark ages. Right, I'll play this. I don't know if I can slow it down or not, but I can pause it every now and then.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a video that I took for a TikTok when I was back home at Christmas, and so it's not very. But yeah, so the idea was that in that panel piece, I want there. Yeah, I'm gonna just put like a white panel in there, and I want to get like a custom sticker because like at award shows they have like logos and like sponsors and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I want to have that, and then I'll have like some celebrities or whatever like walk in front of it. I have photographers along the but like behind the gold bar as like a video premiere. I also got some I got some at the time. Lego didn't do those. This is how long ago I started this project, right? The Lego didn't do those printed letter tiles, so I bought some custom ones. But I can.
I want to go up on the sign, like for
okay.
And I think I got the letters for like now playing Lego mockumentary or something, which is way up now. So I'll have that along on the side. On the left hand side, you can kind of see because on those there's like those grill tiles, and they work as the bars, like because a lot of those movie things have like the bars where the letters attached to.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nice. I'm thinking about maybe changing that over to flex tubes because I feel like when I go back and look at more reference images, the bars are actually a lot less frequent than I thought. I thought that they were a lot more, but yeah. So I was trying to keep the color scheme of the original set, which was like a lot of dark blue. Light aqua was a real big like a really popular color used in that set, and also that medium azure as well, where the ticket booth is.
Right, yeah, this blue, yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to.
From originally, sorry.
What's that? Sorry.
What set's it from originally?
Oh, it's the Heart Lake City Cinema, which came out in 2019 or 2020, I think.
Okay,
it's a really good set. It's a very, very good set. But yeah, the tile work on the front is kind of, there's two different ones. There's like light bluish gray 2x2 tiles on the left, and then this is like some like herringbone kind of style, just with 1x2 dark bluish gray. I was like experimenting with which ones I kind of preferred. I think I like the light bluish gray. It pops a little bit better, but that was just kind of where I left it when I last when I was last
herringbone. That's a good shout. I like it.
It's a bit different, right? Yeah.
So
that might be something I play with. You can kind of very slightly just see. So there's like 4 doors at the back underneath, like just up the stairs.
Yeah.
And then to the right of that, you can see again, it's another hole in the wall, but it's actually a door frame piece. And at Chicago, the first year, one of the display stands had, I think it was Eclipse Graphics, had panels that you could put in there that were movie posters.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
and like the Lego-fied movie posters. So I'm going to put some of those in there. I also bought gold frames because I thought they'd look a lot nicer than the white ones that I had in there. So I need to switch those out.
I didn't know they did gold frames.
It came in the Dubai architecture set, I think. Because I had to buy them off Bricks and Pieces. I couldn't find any in the UK on Bricks.
Right. That's quite a weird one, isn't it? I kind of just assume that every single piece is available on Bricklink, and then that's just not the reality, is it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Or if it is, it's triple the price you'd expect.
It's when you see in 96. When you first search and it's got the list of like everything from the whole world, and then you filter by the UK and it's like, oh yeah, it is 3 times the
price. And there's one. It's like you need 4, but there's one. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
But there's again, there's like there's nothing done in the interior behind that panel on that side. There's going to be like a bathroom, toilet cubicle.
I remember, I think I watched the mockumentary where you were doing this with Mark and going through the studio file. And
And then there's like two spiral staircases that go up either side. I saw a really cool technique where it's like the like telescope piece. Sometimes they give them to minifigures, and then you can get those in gold. I think, did I use them in gold? I think I used them in gold, and then gold cheese slopes on the thing, and you can kind of, if you turn the cheese slopes, you can, and as it goes up, it actually looks like a really good spiral, arm rest thing. What am I thinking? Stair rail.
Yeah.
Well, banister rail.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I was struggling as well there.
I don't really know what that's called, but
I'm trying to see
that's the cinema.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that looks awesome. Just finished watching that through, and
it's actually a gray base, 48 studs wide, so it's like the width of assembly square.
Right. Okay.
It's a little bit wider than like a standard modular. Just because I feel like cinemas should feel like they're a lot bigger.
Yeah. Agreed. Well,
particularly like the older style ones as well. I mean, they're sort of quite grand buildings, weren't they? As well. You always see them in these old Hollywood films and stuff, and they're these massive things.
Yeah, like the Grand Emporium modular, right? Yeah.
So yeah,
nice.
Just need to get the exterior sorted on that in studio, and then I can get that built.
And then that's going to kickstart your city.
That might be that. Yeah, that might be it. I might be like, you know what, sack off this Star Wars crap, and I'm gonna build a city. There'll be another
Disney City would go down well, though, right? City Tek.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I've already got the handles for Tek City. Go subscribe now.
God, that's planning ahead. That is. Oh my god.
But I think that would go down well, like, because even I think they had it at Fantastic, right? They had at Steam, they had like a street, Disney Street, I think, Disney Princess Street, maybe.
Yeah,
and that was really popular. Right? Everyone seemed to love that. Like, so I can imagine your city would go down very well.
It's a really good idea as well, I think.
It'll be good. Like, and I definitely would have like not like things from like the really popular movies and things like that. Like I said, I do want to try and make everything. I do want to pretty much make everything custom. But there might be some like the Snow White's cottage. I may find that really hard to. I may like put a back on it and then put it into the city or something. But for the most part, I want to sort of have a tackle at everything custom, and I'll get stuff from the films in there. I think the only vehicles I want on the road are all the cars from those, like, from the car sets that we got.
Yeah, because you've got a thing about the cars, right?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I'm pretty much. I think I'm a few of the like the Junius sets that come out with Cars 3. Sorry. I'm a few of those short, but other than that, I think I've pretty much got them all as well. So that'd be like a fun way to display them as well.
Yeah. That's cool. So you've thought it through then?
I have spent a lot of time thinking about it when I probably should have been building the pod. Right? Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't. I mean, you've probably been thinking about it longer, but I'm sure it wasn't that long ago that you were like, "Oh no, I'd never get modulars." And then the museum got announced. You're like, "Well, if they've got pharaohs, pharaohs, I can't remember the theme, but then maybe Atlantis was actually I was
really hoping that museum had like old relics of like past Lego themes. Like, I think that would have been a really cool thing. But thankfully it didn't. And I also think like the idea behind it is that because the one of the main reasons why I was like, I want this to be like all custom is so I don't go back and buy all the old modulars and get then I'm thinking, like, if it's going to be all custom, what, like, is it going to be just as cheap to go buy all the old modulars?
Well, they might be good parts packs is the thing.
That's
right?
true.
Oh my gosh.
I can tell you that from having made one building, it gets expensive pretty quick. At least in my experience. I'm sure if you get bulk lots, then it's cheaper.
It doesn't help though when each year it's like, yeah, when we're gonna this time it's even bigger than last time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, good. And so's the price.
Yeah.
Have you with your MOCs, do you tend to build them for like an exhibition or like a convention or something? There seems to be a theme generally.
Yeah. With my Star Wars builds, a lot of them have been. So I think the reason why it kind of I was never, as you can tell, the cinema, it just never got done. And so when I came back to Star Wars MOC building, I was really inspired. I was actually watching, like, before I even was like good friends with Sam and SW and stuff, like I was watching a lot of them, and they kind of really inspired me to get back into Star Wars. And I was kind of like, well, I need a deadline, because I'm just not disciplined enough on my own. So I was like, oh, if I sign up to some shows and display, then it will be. In fact, I spoke to Nick. I met Nick at one of the London Brit Festivals, Gecko. His builds are insane. And I was like, oh, maybe this could be fun. This could be good. Me and Sam and John T had met for the first time, went to that convention. We were like, oh yeah, maybe it'd be fun to kind of display. So yeah, that's when we kind of I ended up then building projects that I've always wanted to do, but doing them or like having a show in mind for them to be done, so I could try and get them finished in time for that show.
Nice. And did having a deadline help a lot then? Because there's a thing about you and deadlines, which I think you're quite well known for.
What do you mean? It's so the thing, like, I took this way too. I took the MOC building side of it not serious enough, and the concept side of this way too seriously. But like, I think I'm one of these people that, and like, honestly and truly, I put off doing MOCs because I'm really nervous to start building, because I think about these things for so long. Like, by the time I actually start this like Disney City, it's going to have been in my head for probably years. Like, and so I get to the point where, and all the projects that I do, I have been thinking about or had an idea of doing them for at least months in advance of me actually starting them. So I just get like really anxious and nervous to kind of start, and because I'm like, I want this to, I feel like I know how I want this to look, and I just can't like quite get that. Once I get into it, I'm a little bit better, but but it's hard to get started. I completely forgot what the question was originally.
It was around displaying basically, building to display in the conventions, but that's a really good like point. That's definitely something we want to talk about as well, about like your process and how you get into it. But I think good just to carry on a little bit on conventions, if that's cool. So yeah, there's the pressure. And are you generally like someone who needs that bit of pressure anyway?
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. So in terms of like the concept, so because I was like filming content for it was also another thing to try keep me a bit more disciplined and like posting videos and recording content. If I had a deadline, I would be filming the whole process. And some of my best performing videos on Planet Tek are my Mandalore one, which I did for a show, and the Scarif one as well that we were working on for a show. So
yeah, that's brilliant.
It did kind of keep me
bring up the Mandalore build actually.
Yeah, that one was one that I was really happy with. I was doing a bit of tiling on the train up, which Mark always laughs at me for.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the video of Sam doing
on
the train.
Yes, Sam would also clown me for it, but then he was like, I get it. On the way on the way up to Manchester, he was like, I might have to do some tiling on the train.
This is it, right? This is the Mandalore build, isn't it?
This is the Mandalore throne room. This was I want to say it was the first MOC that I displayed at London Brit Festival. I think maybe I think it was.
This was a 24-hour one.
Yeah, this was I built this in 24 hours. Granted, I did have a good chunk of it done in studio first.
Okay.
And
yeah, so I was going to say, do you do a lot of that planning in studio ahead of building stuff? Or
for building things that are trying to, like, I'm really trying to accurately represent something, then yes, I do tend to go to studio. I feel like studio is to kind of battle with that like anxiousness of starting. I feel like sometimes just being sat on the sofa and like just playing around in studio can be like a good way for me to kind of start and get into it. And I'll always try and build something in studio, just because I do like the process. And there's certain parts, like even the pod race, I did a lot of the test stuff in studio. I built Anakin's pod in studio first, but yeah, this one was pretty much all built in studio, I think, first.
Was it? Okay.
Cool. It was, I tried to make this, and it was impossible, like trying to find like size references for like an animation, which also changes like this same room changes vastly from like season 2 of Clone Wars to like season 7. So I'm like, pulling all different reference images. That's actually the equivalent of 2 gray base plates. It looks like it looks like that should be minifigure scale, but I had actually planned originally for it to be another gray base plate big.
Oh wow!
Okay,
is it that big? Is the scale actually that big in the show?
Well, I think looking at that, I'm thinking that another gray base plate would be too big. But in the middle of the of the back glass wall, there's actually like a big door frame that you can go out, and it goes onto like a big onto a balcony. So that isn't featured in this part, but there's like a big cutout in the center. But I look at this and I think, no, this is sizable. The room looks grand enough comparatively to the minifigures. I think it works well enough. Maybe another, because I use those the 16x16 Technic bricks. Maybe I could put like a couple more of those in. Just down the middle. I do want to revisit this and do that back section. Those,
I love these windows, by the way, mate. These are so well done. I'm going to try and zoom in
again. The hours I spent on studio. I went through every window pane and I was trying to get it as accurate as possible to the actual thing. Like the patterns are I really trying it. That was like a big detail that I really wanted to try accurately.
Yeah, it is awesome. I love the use of these clips and bars. I swear that's going to become like my mantra.
But
how have you got these cheese slopes?
So the glass is actually behind the bricks. So they're all like 1x1 bricks. And then those are some like inverted arches, and then the cheese slopes just sit on top. But yeah, the glass window panes are actually like a stud behind.
Right.
Okay.
So, but that did not travel well. Oh my god, I managed to get like that built before I had left. It was still a late night, but I managed to get it all built, and then I opened it when I got to the convention, and I could have cried. It was in pieces. I thought I had packed it. I packed it in like a really useful box. They were all like laid down nicely. I was like, "There's no way this could go." Oh my god, that was a lesson. That was a
okay.
That's easily 9/10 of the battle, really, isn't it? Is actually the transporting? Oh god.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, has that taught you a lot about? Have you learned a lot about transporting MOCs? I suppose, and has building for shows like dictated a lot how you build in general? Like, I guess if you're always building for shows, are you always building to travel and thinking about like how people are going to look at it? I guess like those kinds of rules.
For sure. Yeah. So I started with those Technic bricks. I thought they were like quite a good way to keep things modular. I thought I had done enough with this one where the side walls like peel off and the back wall peeled off into 2, I think. It was definitely more than 2 pieces when I got to the convention. but no, I definitely learned a lot from this. And yeah, you have to build, you have to think about transportation if you're even. I mean, I guess now for me being in this flat with Paige and Penelope, like we are really quite limited on space. So I think I would build modularly now so I could put things away because we just don't have the space to keep
That's a
things
fair
lying
point.
around. Like that would play a big part of it. But even so, I think for taking it to shows and stuff, trying to think about modularity and the ease of transport is something to really think about.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm thinking about at the moment. With this Reading brick show, is like every bit that I'm doing is like, okay, am I going to be able to take that apart? I'm also trying to like build in like play features so I can like open it up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also be able to take it apart. And it's a really different way to build. Like up till now, I've not had to worry about it at all.
It's that thing of like, if you're building it, or if you're designing it to be pulled apart into sections, you lose a lot of the structure. So it's finding that like middle ground of like, is this worth it? I think one of the best ways I think I had to look at it was like, there's gonna be stuff that breaks. What's the easiest stuff that can break, or what's the easiest stuff that I can rebuild in a short amount of time? That stuff, less concentrated on structure. What is like more important that I like really make rigid? Those windows should have been, but they
because when you're transporting as well, you can have it as solid as it wants, so it doesn't move that way. But then you'll go over a speed bump and it will go that way. Yeah, you're not expecting that at all, and it's like, what was that noise?
Okay, noted. Cool. Yeah, I'll remember that. But yeah, this is really cool. I love this.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite MOCs I've done.
It's got the height as well, though, isn't it? Because I think the bit, and I haven't seen it properly, but I have seen a bit when I think it's when Ahsoka's chasing Maul through this room, I think, at one point, and it's so high. Like cathedral type high, and the way you've got the minifigs there, it kind of does convey that scale that way as well. So
again, it like I said, it's something that I do want to go visit. I want to have like a roof to it because there's some really cool chandeliers that hang down. So I at one point I did want to go and do a big full scale Mandalore mock, but I think I might just focus on doing like a really detailed throne room again.
Nice. But I've got a Gar Saxon fig that I need to take out the box. Maybe I'm undecided on whether to open the box or not. But was he in this scene? He was around this time, right?
So he's not in this particular scene, but he is in the episode in the throne room a little bit before talking to Maul.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's what I've got in my head because he ends up in the sewers or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, no spoilers. Let's have a look through.
Oh, this is cool.
This is cool. I'll make this full screen. There we go. There we go. Again, like I love how you've got the like angles and like the shapes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like geometry.
Yeah, this was
that whole curve as well.
Again, this was another like quite fragile one when I got there, but so the technique actually I'll start with the inspiration from this was actually seeing a screenshot from the Skywalker Saga game, because for that game they ended up building, whereas in past games they've just like digitally modeled stuff, whereas in that game they had actually built a lot of the sets from Lego. So I kind of wanted to see how closely I could get it to kind of replicate that. And I don't know what they did. I mean, I'm sure there was some illegal techniques or whatever. But there's on each of those like window sections are just repeats of each other.
Okay, cool.
There's a flex tube in the back, just behind, like a black one that runs all the way around, and then the gray flex tube at the front is actually an off-brand one, but it's like a rubber.
I was going to say it looked. I didn't recognize it. It's quite thick.
Yeah,
it's almost like a wire casing.
Thicker. It's elasticated, and it's the tension in that kind of gives it you can't really see it, but there's like a slight angle where the windows are all tilted in.
Right, okay.
Is what kind of gives it the angle.
Oh, okay, so it's going back, right? So
yeah, the window kind of goes like in towards the back.
So did you say there's a flex tube on the inside here as well as the ball?
Oh no, it's ball joints. Yeah, sorry, it's ball joints at the back, and then and then the rubberized tube at the front. Yeah, sorry.
That's really cool though. It's really clever.
Again, I was really happy with how this come in. I had a few more design ideas for the actual window behind, because there's some there's like some curved pieces that I wanted to get some flex tubes and some minifigure hands and kind of do some stuff there. But again, classic me, ran out of time. And I wanted to have some panels along the front as well, because one of the problems I've always had with MOCs, and it's why there was a big sheet held up behind the palette, is although the palace was quite tall, because it was so see-through, and the same with this one, like I always seem to find with a lot of my MOCs that I never really do it
here.
And it's so hard to get a picture, especially when you've got someone like Sam running around the convention who's like get in behind everyone. It's just like, in fact, I think, or maybe it's not this one, but there was one. I was going around taking pictures of one of the MOCs one time, and Sam is literally on the other side of the convention. You can only tell it's him because he's in one of his like Hawaiian shirts, and he's like got his hand in the air waving with like the legs that guy goes to photobomb me is infuriating.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to figure this one out then, to get like the shaping and stuff?
So this one was a bit of a I built the sections in studio, and this one honestly was a bit of a miracle that it came together. I built all again, I think I was up maybe a couple of days before the convention I started this, because I built 3 for this convention. This was one of them, and Jewel of Fates is another one, which I'm really happy with. But I built the window sections again because I was trying to replicate what was in the game. I built them on studio, and I kind of got it looking reasonably to how I wanted to. Studio was a nightmare for trying to get things, like especially trying to use flex tubes in studio and like ball joints.
Yeah, you said before, haven't you?
Yeah, absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So
I don't bother with it. So
yeah,
to one side and like,
dude, I started doing a couple of them, and I was like, I think this will work. So I just like pasted the design, got the parts list, and I was like, I'll figure it out when the pieces get it.
Because it does that weird sort of snake thing, doesn't it? You move it, and it sort of does that thing, and then the whole thing, like, oh
yeah, and it just wiggles. Like I've never seen a flex tube do that in my life.
No.
Like, what is that about? But yeah, so this one was one that just kind of fortunately came together at the last minute. But yeah.
On what you said about studio and ordering the pieces, do you have much of a parts collection, or do you do stuff in studio and then you know what you need? Or
at this point, when I did this one, I didn't have much of an organized parts collection. I've got a few bins of like old Lego that I've got from when I was a kid at my mum's house still. I just can't bring myself to go through. I struggle to get motivated for a pab cup of like 7 different pieces. Let alone go through like old bulk.
I've got Lego a bin bag, half a bin bag full that's just up in a box, and it's been there for a year and a half.
That's legitimate Lego storage, isn't it? A bin bag?
Yeah. I think so. It's lasted 20 odd years, so why not waste it?
Yeah, but yeah, so at this point I hadn't, so I was ordering a lot of parts. I'm in a like reasonable place with my parts collection now, where I can usually eliminate a good chunk of pieces. I also, because it's been fairly recently since I've gone through my parts collection, and like Paige has been an absolute gem in like getting it organized and sorted and stuff. But I do know roughly like what sets I've parted out, or what's been on PAB, or if I've ordered them through lug bulk or whatever. So I definitely try build in mind with what I've got. I always try and use as many even to the case of like if I'm doing like filler brick and things like that, I try to use pieces that I know I've got a lot of, because it's just really satisfying when you go through and you go, oh, I got like 40% of the build already. That makes it a bit nice.
Yeah, it is nice actually getting parts collection to the point where it's like, okay, I don't need to buy everything basically. Or it doesn't stop you buying stuff. I have still I've stopped buying from Bricklink for a little while just because. And I've already put 4 orders in the last 2 weeks. And this is what it used to be like. I remember. So do you have your? Well, you've got a stream around sorting your parts, right? So do you have your parts all like sorted and organized proper then?
I do some vaguely proper now. Yeah, vaguely. So we've actually got like a very small this cupboard. I don't know, it's an absolute tangent, but this is the most useless cupboard in the world. It looks like it should be like a built-in wardrobe, but you can't fit a rail in there that would fit like normal hangers, so you can't fit clothes in there. So I commandeered that as the Lego storage cupboard. It actually perfectly fits. I'll grab the box.
Carrie says you're very lucky to have a Paige.
I am very, very lucky. Just don't tell her I said that, because she might get big for her boots and leave me, and I can't have that.
As long as you don't use masonry as filler for a mill plate. I have been guilty of that a little bit, not too much, but I've got so much light bluish grey masonry.
Those light bluish grey masonry bricks are on the pab wall forever. It's stupid not to get them, and now I just got an excess of them.
They were just closer to hand than all the others.
They're a nicer colour than bright red or that fluorescent yellowy colour.
Exactly. But so you can, in this cupboard, you can fit 2 of these really useful boxes. These are the 9-litre ones, I think. Yeah, the 9-litre ones. You can fit 2 of them next to each other.
Okay.
And so the kind of, this isn't what the label says. But I've labeled a lot of them like red. This one doesn't have red parts in it, so we need to have a look at that. But
there's red on the bag, so that
exactly. Red bag.
Do you organize by color?
I organize by color
and everything else,
but then each individual bag has its own part.
Right. Okay.
So for me, because at the moment a lot of what I'm building is Star Wars, color generally seems to be more important than part type, unless I'm building something very specific like the pod racer, in which I've built in studio first anyway, so I'll have a specific parts list, and then I can just go to all the gray pieces that I need. I can just get the couple of gray boxes out and go through. But I'll generally have so red, there clearly hardly any red pieces. But I've got I think I've got 3 boxes for white, and I'm trying to break it down. I'll start with 1 box with all the color pieces in, and then if that gets too full, then I will split it up. So I might do white brick and everything else, or white brick, white tile, everything else, and kind of try just divide it up like that. And then shove it in that cupboard, and it's overflowing a bit at the minute, but I need to have a little look at that.
That is an interesting way of sorting. Because I just got it done by piece. I think I might have started with color, or no, maybe I saw enough YouTube videos, and they were like, "Oh, I started with color," and then I decided to do it by part, and I had to go through everything in its right pain. So I was like, okay, I feel like you've been through the pain, so I can learn your lesson. But at the same time, if it works for you, right? Like,
well, I think as well, because for the most part, I don't seem to have in my organized collection. Like, so if I'm buying like 5 or 6 of one specific piece, I'm putting it in a very specific build.
Okay.
A lot of the parts that I acquire, whether it be through Pabwall, online, Pick a Brick, or like wherever, tend to be in big quantities. So I don't really have the space to have all like the tiny drawers. I think eventually what I would like is all of the bigger parts to be in these boxes, and then to have like things like clips and ball joints and some of the more like non-color specific pieces that I would tend to use in some like small parts drawers, and I can just pick out, and it very rarely matters what color it is. That there would be bars, clips, that all that sort of stuff. I think I'd like to have in smaller drawers on hand. I think that's the kind of like next evolution of my part sorting.
Nice. Yeah. That's quite similar to what I've got. I've got bricks in boxes, bigger boxes, but so I've got like 2x2, and I think 2x3 in the same box, and then 2x4s, 2x biggers, round bricks, and then it goes. I've got the small drawers as well for smaller pieces, as well as Alex drawers with like the
I feel like I need to get drawers. My organization tends to be, I've got bags with just bits in like this, and then in another box, and it's like, so it's fun when you're actually trying to mock stuff. You just have to tip it all on the floor and just
I had this experience today. In fact, I've got a couple of big drawers full of stuff where it's just like, I'll sort that in the future, like to be sorted drawers, which are now overflowing. But I was looking for a tiny little, I don't know what it's called, like the nipple piece. I don't know if if you know what I mean. Yeah, cool. Yep. I was looking for one of those in reddish brown, and bear in mind this box is like a foot wide by a foot deep, and about probably half a foot high, so you can get a lot in there. And having to go through 2 of them to find one little piece. I was surprised how quick. It only took me 15 minutes to find something, but I was like, oh god, this is how it used to be. Like, I can't go back to this. Like, no.
I think those drawers are always a super idealistic way. It's like, okay, I can allocate this drawer, I can just sweep parts in it, but once it's for a while, and then it's like 3 drawers later, drawers get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I had one drawer set aside for it, and then it's like, I've got a drawer not being used, and I can't be bothered to go through that one, so let's just do that. And now there's a couple of other bags and builds just dotted around now that I don't have room in those drawers for, so I really do need to. But, never mind. I think it might be good to just catch up with the chat quickly.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Sorry, chat, if we've been neglecting you a little bit. Seen a few people popping in. Paige, hello out there. I think just seen Ian pop in as well. Gaz, that sounds a lot of effort. Have you thought about just keeping the parts on the floor?
I mean, I'm not going to lie, that isn't a bad idea. I know where it all is.
That is kind of what my room looks like at the moment, admittedly in boxes, but my floor is covered in boxes. I saw Nicole out there, Lady McBrick, hello, hope you're good. And Brick Hive, Brandon, hello. And Alberto, Sky Guy, hello, hope you're good. And I think, and Trev and Tom, Tom dropped off pretty quickly, but we're going to be seeing more of Tom by the sounds of it. But I saw Ian. Why did I say Ian? Mark. There we go. The offer will always be there if you need help sorting and organising a page.
She needed Mark. Paige went and picked up one of Mark's, or part of Mark's display for Bricktastic, and she said she was very close to just chucking him in the car and being like, come sort some of this Lego while he gets this box together.
It was like, has anyone seen Monarch? being kidnapped.
That's definitely a service. I wonder if that's a chargeable service. If people would actually
I've been saying to Mark forever, like, and like another way to like you could go in, you could structure it like a DIY SOS kind of video, or that like there's like hoarders ones. And
what's it? Stacey Solomon, where she goes and tidies people's houses.
Yeah, Mark just goes in, sorts everyone's Lego collection, and they come out like a much happier person.
Yes. Yeah, that would be awesome. Team up with Johanna, who does carpentry, well, much like yourself, who can design the whole room as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to like have a room where I can actually very specifically design to why work. Because I was speaking to her at Britastic, and she's saying like it's great because all of the worktops are measured to work with base plates, so like she knows that able to fit like however many base plates, and it's just like things like that. Because like I don't know why, I just get so OCD if I was displaying a table and it like sticked over my 10 studs from the like the edge of the table. I don't know, it's weird like that, but yeah, like that would be it's just like nice to have that that kind of touch to it, and it also makes it feel her space is very uniquely hers. It's very personalized, and it's nice. It's like very recognizable as hers, which I like.
Yeah, definitely. If I was a carpenter, I'd love to be able to do that. But I also wonder. It's obviously a lot of effort, and I'm guessing. Well, how cheap is it? I wonder. It's obviously cheaper to do it yourself.
If you do it yourself,
but to get all of the materials in the first place.
It's one of those things that like when I come to do it, it's probably not necessarily going to be an economical thing, but long-term convenience I think is the kind of thing that you shoot for. But yeah, we'll see when we get there.
I guess you kind of build up like contacts as well. Can't you to maybe get like some sort of discount place somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah, and like you can get like trade discounts and different things like that. So
because for me, I have found so far, because this is the second room I've been in now in this house. So I was in a different room, and we decided to swap the bedroom and my office basically. And I found with the last one, and generally I find when my wife's asking me like about design decisions for rooms, it's like I can't until I'm actually in there and using a room. I can't really think ahead far enough to say like I will want it to be like this. So to get it all custom made, you're making a big like commitment up front. So like I guess you have to plan it out loads, right? Or at least I would.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Paige always talk about like maybe the first house we get together properly would be like something that we could kind of do up a bit, and like I talked to her, we've like had conversations in the past, and it's like she's one of those people that kind of really struggle to visualize things or like see the potential in things, or like what things could end up looking like. Because I work in I see houses from start to finish. I did always use one thing really, really random and off topic, but one thing that I always really struggled with when I was a kid was figuring out the configuration of my house, and I could never work out why my kitchen was like directly below me, like my bedroom. I was like, I'd spend way more time than I'm happy to admit, like walking up the stairs and being like, which way am I facing? Like, this just doesn't make sense.
There is a thing about that with some houses though, where I do know what you mean, where you just can't quite figure out like what, like how it fits together, like how have I got from there to here, and I'm still facing in the same direction or something like that.
I've done that with places I worked before. It's like, so this is that road there, and that road there, I know that road's the main one, and you just think, but how does that? You look at the map and say that doesn't match what I'm thinking in my head. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, it was like we had a really weird like 180. Yeah, I think it's like a 180 staircase in the center of the house, and it just like really used to throw me. It's like there's a really long corridor to get to my room, but there's not downstairs. Like, you know, what's going on?
It's like, the house is broken. What's going on?
Yeah, it's like, Mom, it's broke.
We got Craig saying, "Is that why you haven't finished the Cinema Tech? You can't work out what's above what."
Exactly. Does that let me off the hook, Craig? Is that does that buy me a bit more time?
Go with it. Just roll with it. I was going to ask you, do you find that being a carpenter, does that feed into your mindset at all with building Lego, or do you have Lego as a completely separate? Like, are there similarities in any way, shape, or form?
Whilst I don't necessarily, or I haven't really. No, actually, I think I would say yes. There's hands down. Subconsciously, there will be tons of things that definitely like link and parallel, and why I understand certain things, or but more recently, as I think about like doing bigger MOCs and trying to do more engineered MOCs, like I'm really, and we'll hopefully look at one in a bit, like the bigger MOCs that take a lot more engineering because of like the weight of it and like supporting its own weight, because Lego is quite a light product and it can support a lot of weight until you really do start like compacting things and making things very dense, and then you want like wheels to move, for example. Like that stuff can be quite technical, and I have in, especially with the pod race and like the structure of the rock work, there's definitely things that I've thought about at work and then like applied, or like my knowledge with like how certain structural things work and different like bracings that I use in a roof, and trying to like adapt that and like kind of make it make sense with Lego. Like I definitely do think about that more.
That's cool.
Which is quite useful. Yeah.
I wonder if it'll come in more when you start building a city as well and actually working on buildings.
It will be interesting. Yeah. It will be interesting to see.
Oh, that's quite handy as well. They feel like some, you know, you've got like plates and plates and plates and plates, and you don't know how to support them, I suppose, because you've kind of got that advantage. Which is like, I don't know, for example, roof beams or something. You think, well, actually, you need them to support only this many, I don't know, so much far apart.
Yeah, and like different things about. I mean, this isn't necessarily what I do, but I also see a lot more like my job specifically aren't too structural. Like the joists are quite structural in the houses I build, but the rest of it's not particularly structural. But I do still see like a lot of the ground workers or and things like that, and you see some of the materials that they're using and the bricklayers as well, the things that they do, and like having conversations with them about why this thing doesn't work and how their solutions are for things. You do definitely pick up on a lot of like the structural engineering side of like building houses that I think are definitely going to be more applicable. Even things like there's a MOC that when I want to do the bit, if I end up getting around to doing the big Mandalore MOC, the buildings are really weird. They're like very cubic, but they have like massive pieces like sticking out, and they look like a structural engineer's nightmare. But different things I've learned about like cantilevering and things like that with balconies and stuff, like I think could definitely help play into how I design some of those.
Nice. I was thinking it would be good to go through some of your pictures, even if we kind of zip through them a little bit. I'm just aware of what the time is, and because we'll get. See, I think we said the other day that our stream seems to be getting longer and longer as we more readily lose track of time.
It's like Lego sets; they just get bigger and bigger. So,
So yeah, this is Duel of the Fates? Really?
Yes. So this was with the Emperor's Throne Room one that I did. We did this was at London Brick Festival. We did a collaborative build, like all in our lug, and we just did like iconic lightsaber battles, I think was the kind of brief. And I really wanted to do this one. I think I had played about with the design of this on Studio beforehand. And this is a bit of a studio nightmare, and probably like a non-advert for using Studio, because when I did it on Studio, all the wedge plates. So each of those like triangles are like a wedge or like a wedge section. They've got wedge plates. They've got wedge plates that line the side, and then hinge bricks underneath. The like zebra crossing bit in the middle is like a snot section.
Okay. So so you've got wedge plates here, snot here.
Yeah.
Or like sideways building, is it? So you've got. So wait a second. I'm trying to get
basically, it's like 2 white plates, 2 black plates, 2 white plates, 2 black plates, and then a white plate and a white tile, and that drops in. Into that gap. So there's obviously there's like structure underneath to support it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in studio, they're actually like slightly raised in the film. So I was like, oh, that was like quite a cool detail that I managed to pick up. I really like that one.
Nice.
But yeah, there's some structure underneath it. But this is one where I built multiple sections of the thing, and I should have looked at it from more of a technical aspect. But in studio they all lined up and worked perfectly. I don't know did I give you the top down shot of this one?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you can't see it you can see on the far left. I was butchering it the night before because they didn't work out in real life.
Right, okay. Got all the way around, and it was like the laughter, like shit.
Yeah, I was like, right, I'll tuck that behind. Hopefully,
studio's really good at doing stuff like that, though, because it looks like it fits perfectly, and it's like you build it, you're like, why isn't this working? And you just get to that point, you think you're going crazy for like half an hour.
Yeah, and I think I put this mock off like to last because I was so happy with how it looked in studio. It was literally just a case of me like putting it together. And then I got to that bit and I'm like, why is this not working? And it was driving me up the wall. But yeah, I'm really happy with this mock. It just needs lights. In that center tube, I've got some lights to put in it. And so
lights would make that come to life, wouldn't it?
And then again, it's one of those ones that don't have a backdrop, but I've got some like styrofoam black like hobby styrofoam stuff, so I'm just going to make a little box to set over the top, and then the lightsabers will light up as well.
Do you think it works better at a show to have a backdrop or to not have one?
I think if you want to get some really good photographs of the mock, then having a backdrop does help. I've even seen people have like just like literally, like I said, like styrofoam stuff or like a print of the thing at Bricktastic. There was like a Mos Eisley mock that had a print of Mos Eisley behind. I think it just for photography reasons. I don't think the mock itself necessarily needs it, and I don't think this one particularly needs it. But when you're trying to take photos, for sure. And I think as well having it covered will also help with the lights, because the scene itself is very dark. And there's a really nice shot actually of the 3 characters are all silhouettes, and it's just the lights from behind and their lightsabers. So I want to try recapture that shot. As close as Lego.
Did you see that one that's behind? It's actually that space one at Bricktastic. They had like that, almost like that tent thing up just around it, because I think they had all like fluorescent lights and stuff inside, didn't they? So,
okay.
That worked really well.
Oh, that's cool.
So that could look really cool with this as well. Did you have you worked out how to remedy that? The bit of the back now. Or...
I think it's just that I should have done the calculations with the angles of the wedge plate. I think it's just the angles of the wedge plate. I don't know if there's another wedge plate that will match that angle that's left. Maybe a one like the 2x6 wedge plate that's a bit newer might work against it. I'd have to actually do some calculations. But no, I've not been brave enough to try tackle the maths behind it. That was never my strongest point in school. So
Craig said, sorry guys, I'm just covering you up with Craig's comment here. But Craig said, that shape is a pain. I did it on the turntable and it took me ages to realise the hinges needed to be further out. So I wonder if that means
because there's certain connection points underneath. There's like literally, I think it's what, like 1, 2, 3. I think it's like 9 studs. Like one of those sections is like 9 studs deep, and there's maybe like 2 places where you can actually only fit the hinge plates or bricks.
Right. Okay.
So then I was trying to build.
Right.
Not only was I trying to build those in, I was also trying to build the structure underneath to support those like snot sections.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was a little bit tricky.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So we've got. Is this? I didn't realize this was different. This is an ATACT.
That's
Is
it.
that
Yes.
right?
All terrain.
Attacked.
Yeah. What is it? All terrain. I can't even think of what it is now. I
can't remember what ATAT stands for. All terrain.
All terrain attack
Armored.
transport.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's armored transport, attack transport.
Oh, no, it might be armored transport actually. Yeah. All terrain.
Right.
Oh, and I think the ATACT is all terrain armored cargo transport. I think.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, this is one that I did. It was a modification of the UCS one. There I changed the cannon on this. There was like 3 kind of defining features that were different from the ATACT. The ATACT is actually a lot bigger in universe.
Is it?
ATAT, yeah, it's quite simple. In fact, the UCS ATAT is pretty good for minifig scale, but if the UCS ATAT, if the UCS ATACT that I done scales proper like really well with the ATAT playset, so that's like how much bigger it is.
Oh wow!
It's
okay.
Substantially bigger. But yeah, the kind of 3 defined. There's actually quite a lot with the head that could have got changed, but because I was just doing like I wanted to be able to like switch back and forth between them quite quickly.
Yeah.
The cannons under the chin of the ATAT I took off because they're like more purposed on the side of the head, so that's what that picture is of the cannons.
Right. Okay.
So there were like 2 differences, and then obviously the big orange plating on the side.
Yeah, which we've got. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like, because I could have literally just slapped like some orange bricks and plates on the side, but I really did try and get some of the paneling textures and shapes from that. So I was really happy with how that came out.
Yeah, it's a nice change up on there as well. I mean, that cannon looks really hefty as well.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's a beast.
Yeah.
Because you also did the. Oh, sorry.
No, that was it.
I was going to say, because this was part of your Scarif build, right? So, because you were doing a base for this, right, and you had to make it fit, like the feet and all of this, right?
So we had my big thing that I wanted to do. Since getting the ATAT, I've always wanted to try convert it over to an ATACT. I hadn't seen too many people do it. And so it was something that I always wanted to do. And then when we said about doing Scarif as a collab build, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll kind of do the ATAT or the ATACT conversion, and then have some base plates underneath it with it like trundling through the water. The big thing that we had with Scarif was obviously the ATAT being massive. We wanted to have the tower in it because the tower is like really iconic, but trying to get a tower to scale with the ATAT that is almost scale is like it's going to be a nightmare. So we really thought quite hard about like depth perception and force perspective and different things like that. And we had like we tried to line the back of the MOC with the whole tree line, so we could get some really good shots of and I managed to get a couple of good pictures that Tommy ended up editing for the thumbnail that did get that kind of perspective quite well, I think. So yeah, we were very happy with that.
Nice. Yeah, it looked amazing. And maybe we can talk more to like collaborative building in the latter part. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I forgot there's the full view.
That's giving me palpitations on the table. It's like, step away from the edge. Come on.
I tell you now, it looks nothing like that at the moment. It is like, again, never traveling with that thing again.
Is it really slow at walking? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be slow now. It don't have any legs.
You must be able to put this together with your eyes closed by this point, right? How many have you got of there? You've got 3, haven't you?
I've got 3. I've actually only built 1.
Okay.
And yeah, at the moment it was, so I built a whole box for it, and I thought that it was going to travel really well, and I put like rods in that would like support the top. and it turns out that if you go for a speed bump, those rods just like make it crumble. And it...
Oh no!
Oh man. Okay, so sometimes, trying to make stuff safe for transport is the thing that breaks it.
Yeah. I'm scared to think again. There was a Bricktastic collab, or like a build thing where they all did custom AT-ATs. I see a lot of the guys or the people doing those mocks bulked up the legs, and I know exactly why, because otherwise they're not transported well.
So there are actually 3 different versions in the films, because there's that one in Return of the Jedi. Is it exactly the same as the normal one, or is it slightly different?
As far as I'm aware, the one in Return of the Jedi is the same as the one in Empire. The AT-ST is different. The smaller version. I don't know about the AT-AT though.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering if you because you got 3, if they're all slightly different.
Because yeah.
Well, the DeLorean.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
I think that might. Is that the last of the pictures?
Might well have been. Yeah, I think probably.
Oh, you've got a speeder actually.
Oh yeah. I can't quite remember where this fitted. Again, I think this was actually for a show. Me, Nick, and Harry and Sean. Brick Sheeper, one of the guys. I'm sure you guys know him for his creature build.
Cool.
He's an incredible builder. But we did a show up in Birmingham, and we wanted to do like a little Rebels collab. And so I did the Lothal Highway. This is actually not. This is just like the residue of a MOC that had fallen apart, but the speeder was one of the things that I was like, I really wanted to design. It was just I've designed a few custom speeders, but this one I was like really happy with. It's minifig scale. It's like fairly stable as well. I was like pretty happy with it.
It looks like it'd be like
it's not too bad.
It should stay together, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
What's that piece? What's that piece in the front there as well? Is that?
Yeah, this is really cool. Well, this bit means
so that it first appeared, I think, in the buildable figures.
Yeah, has it got 2 little prong bits on the underneath?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's like a really the way I got it, like that is actually kind of just resting in there, but there's this piece that looks like a 1x1 round like cylinder brick. But it's got like a flower shape at the top, and then it's thinner in the middle. And basically, I put one of the rods in the top of that, and then just placed it between the 2 bars, and it kind of sits in there quite nicely. Okay. That bit is probably not so stable. And it also should be in white, but the white piece is so bloody expensive.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's so expensive. It came in like the Range Trooper, which seems to be one of those buildable figures that like shot up in price. So,
okay.
So yeah, I just went with grey for now.
Is this like a crate on the back?
Yeah, that was the crate that Ezra was stealing in the pilot.
It's the fruit, is it?
Rebels, yeah, the Melu runs. I think
that's it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Nice. I'm gonna stop sharing that. But yeah, those are awesome. That speeder as well. Yeah. And actually, sorry, I meant to ask, like, do you do many vehicles? Do you,
I have done a few. I've done a few speeders. I think I've probably designed like 3 or 4 different types of speeders, and then like color swap them as well, which I really like doing. They're like a good entry thing into into like doing vehicle design. I would love to design a like minifig scale big ship one day. But I've done this is kind of like, this was someone's build, and then I built it in studio, and then I kind of ended up changing a substantial amount. It's incredibly dusty, but this is an X-wing, and it's Hera Syndulla colors.
Oh, that is cool.
That is cool.
It's very, very dusty. That's embarrassing, but
you can't see.
It doesn't show up on camera. It's fine.
Yeah. And the wings obviously like pop out.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
is that basically? Is that very similar to the play set?
So the guy, I just remember the name of the guy. The guy that designed this did a rework of the set. This guy's named Quarry's Workshop on Rebrickable. He's a very, very talented designer, and he will take a lot of sets and then like bring them up to scratch to kind of look like mock quality.
Okay.
And he redesigned, like, honestly, the wings are quite similar, but he kind of redesigned pretty much most of the front section.
Okay.
And
the nose look different from what I remembered.
So he redesigned that. The wings, like I said, are much the same. But he did the Red 5. Is it the Red 5 X-Wing? So I built it in studio, color swapped it, and then I ended up changing a lot of the wings myself. So it's kind of a hybrid between like mine and Quarry's Workshop's design. But I'm really happy with that. I need to take that to a few shows, actually, get her in there and that. Yeah.
And do you kind of prefer or working in that sort of scale as well, though, for minifigs, the smaller vehicles? Is that?
Yeah, it's definitely more digestible. I think I like with vehicles, because generally you're trying to pack a lot of detail into something very small. I do like building a minifig scale. That is like my ideal scale. I'm fascinated by scale in Star Wars, and like minifig scale in Star Wars, because everything seems so big that it just seems like it should be impossible to build in Lego. But yeah, and but using Quarry's design as a starting point has kind of really helped me get the ball rolling, and kind of I think it's easier for me to like change certain things rather than like trying to think of something completely structural. But the more builds I do like that, I'm learning a lot more techniques, and I'm learning how to pack certain details into small or weird shapes that aren't usually quite easy to capture in Lego.
Okay. Yeah, because there's some funny shapes in Star Wars.
Yeah,
for some of the shit.
Yeah, there really is.
Oh, shall we have a look at some MOCs by other people?
Yeah, go
on. I believe you are up first, Gaz, with Jonas Kramm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so...
Oh, God, sorry. Bear with. What is it doing this again? Cool. Sorry.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so it's just... so Jonas Kramm, he's the designer of the Mushroom House.
He is, right?
Yeah, he actually had this, which looks fantastic in person, and he did have the Mushroom House at Bricktastic. But I really like this one just because I know there was an official Ent or / tree beard you could get in the Tower of Orthanc when it came out all those years ago. But I think this one looks much better because this one looks a lot more organic, like the feet. So I think in the film I remember like the feet looking like actual trees and they just came up, which I think these do. Like, the way they go out, it's like actual roots.
Yeah.
And it's just the shaping on it and like the beard.
The beard captures him, right?
Good.
Like
really,
I can't even remember his name now. Not Entmu, is it? It's Treebeard.
Yeah, Treebeard. Yeah. And it's like all the little bits as well. Like you've got like the like a minifig hand just for some of the branching. It's like it's such a good idea.
I do like this technique of the minifig hands for
What piece has been used like between the eyes as like the nose piece?
That is a parrot bird thing, I think.
Oh my god, that's insane.
That is mad.
That's
okay.
such good parts you did. That's amazing.
How do you
I actually didn't know it came in brown, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I really like it as well. And I mean I do like those, I don't know, I want to call them vine pieces, but like the really thin reddish brown bits he's got going on there. I really like that anyway. That's such a good piece.
Yeah. Which bits? These like that wind round?
Yeah. I think that's really useful.
Again, they're really good.
They add so much. They add so much texture to tree builds, and they're they're a relatively easy part to implement as well. As long as you have like a few bar like bar pieces sticking out, or some clips or something. You can
they're
integrate them
so
quite well.
flexible compared to like normal flex tubes, which you you've got to sort of heat up a bit sometimes or whatever.
Yeah, I do love these. They're awesome for trees and for old fences as well. They're good for like you weave them between some like bars. Get a bunch of them. Yeah, I've been collecting these. Whenever I see them on the Bricklink sellers page, I will. If they're a reasonable price, I'll get them.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea actually.
They don't seem to be as common, reddish brown ones. It's the medium nougat ones that are.
I think they
most common.
Are they in the bonsai tree? The reddish.
Yeah.
I know there was a period where I think I saw that set on sale so much that I did then see it on Bricklink quite a lot. Maybe it's not on sale so much now.
Yeah,
so people are parting them out.
I think there's always tempted to tall neck as well, but I can't remember if it is reddish brown or not.
It might be a black one in there.
I've got a spare one from something. I'm trying to remember what it
because I think they do give spare ones as well. I think you do get a spare of them. Maybe they are prone to breaking, or because they do bend. I had one in in a build. I wrapped it around like a grill piece, basically, like a big grill piece, and wrapped it in and around, and it was on there for like a month or two, maybe. And by the time I took it off, it's sort of like properly warped, and you would probably have to heat it up a bit to get it back into shape. But it's awesome. I love this piece as well. This bear claw, whatever it is.
Such a good shape as well. I mean, I think I've used it for ice on something as well.
It looks it's got it's like Sam used it in his Morak MOC as like mud treads. Like he had his tank go over and then he used those as like a pathway for it, and it looked so good. It's one of those pieces that in any color it can be used for something completely different. It's a really versatile piece. It's one that I want to try pick up some more of, because I've seen some for rock work. It's good. In stuff like this, it just those prong, like the kind of 3 prongs that stick out, just add a lot of texture.
I've got a whole bunch of these coming from Lugbook,
because they're not sort of uniform either, are they? They're all 3 are different as well.
It's that's variation.
The orchid's got lots of brown ones in as well, if you're looking for them. I'm really tempted to steal them all out of the orchid. I've got set up.
Paige is going to be in the chat any minute saying, "Stay away from my botanical sets."
Honestly, man, botanical sets are brilliant for parts. Brilliant parts packs.
Especially with you that love to build trees. Like it makes sense.
He's used a frog when he's built it in person.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe it doesn't exist in brown then. Really expensive. So is this a headlight brick with a bar coming through?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
maybe a cut up.
Awesome. I reckon it's a lightsaber piece.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I think you can get instructions for it. So I think this picture's showing him like putting it together.
The physical build, so good.
It's a nice little mushroom as well.
And this like vine bit as well is really good.
Yeah,
that's really handy. So that's been under some stress there.
It does, doesn't it?
Is that a brown ball joint as well? Crikey!
Where
were they in? Where were they in the fluffy set?
Yeah, they must be old, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think you can get them that easily. I don't know. I seem to remember looking up brown ball joints because I wanted to sell for something.
Yeah, I feel like they're not in production anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but good to know. There's some good pieces in that bond.
There are some good pieces in there. There's lots of good pieces, even because there's loads of like white tree limbs as well. And green ones, I guess.
A couple of frogs.
There's an insane amount of pink frogs in there. I've got a bag of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with. And then this is it on display. Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is he part of the Rebel Lug?
Got boats and things as well.
I'm not too sure actually, because it was sort of on the same sort of area as theirs, so maybe actually.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Are these all his as well? Do you know?
I think the Viking boat is. I'm sure I've seen that on his Instagram page.
Yeah.
I think the white buildings maybe.
The MOC on the left, I think, is Gecko's. I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure
that's awesome. I know we're looking at someone else's stuff here, but that's really cool.
Nick pulled something like I don't think you can see it so much in that that building, but he had another building next to it, and he pulled it apart, and he's got like bits that are kind of like chunks that are blown out of it, and there's just like pieces going in every which direction, and I'm just like, I can't wrap my head around this. This hurt. This hurt.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I've seen a picture of that. Yeah, in fact, we will look at something very similar to that soon enough. I think, is this from the tree house, the mushroom house?
Yeah, I think that's just our shop. So.
Right, just here, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, got it.
Nice. And so next up we've got your entry Tech.
Yeah,
go for it.
So this is Juggernautbricks on Instagram. He is taking on the challenge of building a minifigure scale turbo tank, and it was only really in the last like year or two I've like watched back Revenge of the Sith, and I realized just how big a minifig scale Juggernaut actually is. Like, it's crazy. This thing is huge.
It is massive. There's a photo. Sorry, I thought I had a photo with. Oh, I had a photo with it in scale. There's like basically the size of a washing machine.
Those wheels are pretty.
Yeah. So the like kind of what I was talking about earlier with the like engineering side of MOC building. He's designed these wheels, like if he was saying on one of his posts that any other way the wheels just shatter under the weight of the MOC. And this is such a technical build that I'm really, really fascinated by. He's got suspension on this thing. He's got motors in it, so it's actually going to move. It's just it's a ridiculous project. Like, it's a ridiculous project.
There's the suspension, and it is massive. There's a video, and like he's got it on the floor trying to get the motors going, and he hasn't got it working in that video at least. And it is genuinely the size of like a medium-sized dog. It's massive. But at first sight, I was just like, really taken aback.
Yeah, there's a picture of him like like a short video of him like picking up the wheels to show the suspension, and it's like a two-handed job. Like,
I know, because I don't know if I even recognize what's this. Which is this in the film? Was TV show?
It first appears in episode 3 on Kashyyyk and Revenge of the Sith on Kashyyyk. It features in the Clone Wars TV show quite a bit as well. But yeah, it's just insane. Like, the thing is huge. But yeah, the fact that he's trying to motorize it, have lights, and like adding all of that, it's like no expense spared. Like, the thing is an absolute juggernaut by name, juggernaut by nature. Like,
is this like a periscope or something? What's that?
Yeah, so that it's like a lookout. Like, the thing itself is so big it needs a lookout tower.
So that's just like a minifig with sitting there.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's going to be motorized as well, where that goes up and down. As well. Yeah, just crazy project. But yeah, I'm fascinated by minifigure scale, because I think it just should be so unachievable in Lego. But there's people like this that are actually crazy enough to tackle it, and I'm so in awe of it. It just goes to show like what actually can be achieved with Lego. I would hate to know.
When it's finished as well, be like, it's on the floor, it's not moving.
There's a reason why the motors don't work. I think he had 6 motors in it in the video that I saw. He'd surely need at least one motor per. I don't know if you get more than one motor per wheel.
I think that I think in a more recent post he has said something like that, and it's like not even like Lego motors aren't strong enough, so he's had to go third party with the with the motors and stuff. So yeah, guy's crazy. I think everyone should go check him out. Follow it along because it's a fascinating piece of Lego engineering,
and it just looks so cool as well.
The details that they've packed in is just crazy.
All these different angles and like the turrets and stuff it's really is amazing.
That's not even the full side bit, is it? How many? It's another 2 wheels.
There's another 2 wheels on the front of that, or the back of it.
And there's like another little section as well. And then this is kind of like the innards of it.
Oh wow, that's quite good for seeing the suspension, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just crazy. I mean, like I didn't know half of those pieces existed. Like that's
is he going to be taking it outside or something? Like, is he actually going to take it off road?
I mean, I don't know how off road it would go, but I'm sure you might be able to get it moving on like a grip, but I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I think he's trying to implement steering as well, which
the front ones look like
ridiculous. It looks like those are slightly turning, so I think he's trying to implement steering. So it's just a crazy project.
Absolute madness. That was amazing though. That was so cool to see.
That would just be nuts, wouldn't it?
I think that's what the plan is, Greg. The
internet will melt. I think it's going to be another dragon moment.
Maybe that's why he's making it the size of a small dog, so you can actually have a small dog inside running. Mark says Flintstone style,
it's actually just an outfit. It's a costume for a dog.
Dog cosplay.
And then this one's mine. This is by Khang Lego, and it's just a really cool tree in a pot.
That's really
just one of those ones that like I didn't quite see it as being Lego at first. Just amazing. Well, I mean, everyone loves a tree. And this is awesome. Loads of detail on this. I don't really know where to start. Like, I hadn't even noticed that there's a butterfly up there. The shape of it is so organic and natural.
I think what stands out to me a lot with this one as to why it looks so unlike Lego at first is that you very rarely see trees built in Lego, especially ones that are kind of this bare in terms of like the leaves and the foliage. The trunk actually very, very slowly getting thinner as it goes towards the top. Like I think that's the thing that I immediately look at and go, okay, that's really cool. Exactly. And like it is bare, like you say. I think the fact that it's in a pot as well, it's not just like a tree in the landscape.
I actually thought that wasn't Lego, the pot, to be honest.
First time I saw it, I had to look at it properly. And even like it's got the katana blades for shoots.
Okay, so now you've zoomed in and now it's probably like 10 times bigger than I thought it was.
It's huge, right? It's on scale with the Juggernaut.
That could be one of the critique trees.
I was looking at those blades at grass. I was thinking, God, how's he done the grass? And it's like, okay.
So I guess a minifig is going to be about. Katana's probably about as tall as a minifig, isn't it? So
you can make a good forest with those, to be fair. I mean, minifigs.
It's a really good idea, actually. I'm probably going to keep an eye out for these now. Admittedly, I don't think I'm going to make a tree quite this big because it's insane. I think we've got some closer ones, but like they must use all sorts of ball joints and stuff to get the branches going. I don't know what these are. These propellers? Oh wow! Use propellers as leaves. Crazy. That's amazing.
That's not a bad idea. Oh, there's just some really crazy bits. Do you know what makes me laugh as well? Though he's hung those little symbol cards on there. It's almost like that. That new set that came out, the memories one.
Family tree.
Oh, the memories one. Yeah.
It's almost like saying, Yeah, okay. Hold my pint, Lego. I'm going to do it. Because
yeah, is this what it is? Right. Okay. It's a memory tree. Is that because I should have done my research? I just saw a tree and really like the look of it, but
it might not be. I'm just guessing, really. But
yeah.
What in that butterfly? Like,
oh, that is
Avatar.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's from the tail piece. I've got these sat in the drawer, wondering what to do with them. That's amazing usage.
Oh, there you go. Now.
At first, I like when I thought it was like a lot smaller. I thought that maybe they like cut some cape or like made some cape from Ninjago that I didn't know about or something. But oh my god, it also puts that into size perspective as well.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if this is the smaller bit from the tail. But even so, yeah. And what's this bit? I don't know if I've seen this bit before.
Is that new? That's not the new leaf piece, is it?
I don't think so. It's got like a clip on the end.
Oh, interesting.
I think I'm sure I've seen that in some sort of Ninjago-y type set. I'm sure they use it like for some of the mechs or something, like shoulder bits.
Okay, yeah.
Right, okay.
That's a cool piece though. But yeah, those propellers is leaves, great.
And
there's not okay. You take out like a few of the grass, like a few of the decorative pieces on the pot, and then a very few amounts of like leaf pieces on the ground. There's not that much like traditional plant pieces in this, which is also really cool.
Yeah, there's not at all. And I don't know if you've got some closer up of the.
That's it. That's just like a table is on almost.
That is just a table, isn't it? Yeah, correct. Not go on and build that as well.
That's wild.
Yeah, trying to see the trunk, because that in itself is mad.
It's ridiculous.
Some mad greebling and angles going on. 8-man table.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is what I was looking for.
Oh wow! And some of them are really sort of square pieces. I know that sounds daft, but so it's like it's so big that it's like it doesn't matter. It's like it's square in the middle of it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You wouldn't dream of using some of those pieces in a tree normally, would you? A normal person's.
It's once you start getting big. I've only done it once. Maybe it was like comparable on scale, or like a bigger tree. But yeah, you can use lots of square pieces. It's just on the edges, like he's done. You go a bit rounder. Got like rock piece there.
Yes, and said never think to use a rock piece in a tree either. To be fair, insanity. Best kind.
And then got Brittle Brown as well. Craig said.
Yeah. I really like this. I don't know what this like marble piece is. Whatever this is.
Oh, is that one of those new bits that came with the Ninjago? They had
is it spin gypsy? Is it the spin something?
Yeah. Where's TJ?
That's right.
But these have got to be out of Ninjago, surely.
Oh yeah, Dragon Core.
There we go. Yeah,
there we go.
To the rescue.
Bow pieces as well. Oh no.
And then
pretty cool. Oh, that's using one of the patch pieces. The dots.
Ah, okay.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Where?
Wow,
there's got holes in it.
It's one of the cell patches, yeah.
So I've not seen these before.
Have you not?
No, I've not really used any of the stuff, to be honest.
Yeah,
shiny gold stuff as well.
I was just thinking, like a little while ago, looking at some of this dots, and this is why I'm always fascinated by looking at other people's MOCs and seeing how they think to use different because that piece with the way that they've used string to hang everything just looks made for this MOC. It looks like it was designed for that. Like I look at those sew-on patches. I'm like, how could I ever integrate this into a MOC, or like the watch straps, or all that stuff. I'm like, just how am I going to integrate this? Why is this useful? Is this ever going to be useful to me? And then you see stuff like this, you're like, well, there you go.
Yeah, that's why I buy the pieces. So maybe one day I can do something like this.
Yeah, I still have a lot to learn.
Seeing stuff like this definitely makes me be like, I am years off of anywhere near this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but also like there's the flip side of it is like they've done the hard work. We can just replicate this now. And we're great. One of us have had to think about it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to look at how they've done this. Like, do you reckon it's lots of ball joints that they've then like just wedged in place?
Ball joint seems the most structurally sound.
Yeah,
I would have thought.
For something this size as well.
Yeah, but
maybe it's really fragile.
maybe
the slightest touch.
It could be one of those ones that it'll be completely left field. You know, like Donnie's Dragon, when it was just those Harry Potter glasses pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, that's madness. But yeah, Khang Lego. Really cool.
Where he grows it rather than builds it.
Yeah. That's one of those, like, I really want to have one day in my house, like a really nice statement Lego piece that's something like that, that's like really big, really eye-catching, something that might not necessarily scream Lego to start with, but something like that would be really, really cool to have in your house.
I agree, and I could actually get away with displaying something like that. My wife doesn't want Lego. Sophie's not a fan of it. She was so bad when we were packing to move house and stuff was getting taken down out of the living room. The orchids, I can get away with the orchids because from a distance you can kind of think otherwise. I'm just trying to check in on the poll to see how that's doing, but I don't know how you actually say. Oh, here we go. So we've got a poll going. Do or would you ever take apart a MOC? We've got 54% saying yes, and it's gone again. Right, bear with. I keep having to make the chat pop out.
Have you got it, or do you want me to read it? Or
54% say yes, 14% say never, and 31% say depends. So the majority so far saying that yes, would take apart a MOC, and I have to say that I'm in that camp for sure. I will take apart my MOCs because space. I absolutely will, and do. I think I've got one MOC that's older than like 2 or 3 months. I think, otherwise they come apart pretty quickly. To make space to use the parts from them, or just because.
When you're building stuff, Ollie, because I guess now you're doing shows, it might be a little bit different, but like I'm interested to know what your kind of thought because you take, as far as I know, or like as I know of other people, you seem to take MOCs apart relatively quickly after you've built them to like repurpose the pieces and stuff. Is it because, and like I said, I think that'll change more now you're doing shows and you want to take them places, but is that because you're like using these MOCs to like practice a technique for something else in the future and you just kind of want to try it and then move on quite quickly? Is that kind of
I think that's very much the case. It's usually like I'll go in with an idea in mind, like, I want to try out this technique, and the MOC itself is almost not as important because it's like a practice ground, like it's a sandpit, sandbox. So then I'm not that attached to it. But I do think, well, like you say, for displays, I'm going to want to keep it around just because I don't want to have to make something new every single time that I go and display. Because I did so for the first, I've displayed once before, and 2 of the builds that I did, how many did I do? 3? 2 of them I ended up taking apart like within a week of displaying, and I was like, I'll just build a new one for the next one, because I can when I want to, at least up till now, my MOCs I can put together fairly quickly, but admittedly it's taking longer now, because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm like thinking about transport and displayability and all of this. So now I think I'll probably be a bit less likely to take stuff apart so readily, because I put more time into it.
No, that's fair.
But I think because generally the stuff that I put less thought into and that gets made quicker will come down quicker.
I think that's something that I really need to do more of is just trying, and I think that would probably help me get over a lot of my like initial anxiety that I have towards like starting bigger projects, is if I've just done smaller things that just like trying out a very specific technique as opposed to delaying and pushing stuff off and then having to build something in 24 hours.
I think it's quite good to build something you're not too like emotionally attached to. Because it's getting something done. And funny enough, talking of work feeding into like how you build, although I work in software, so I can't really apply much from like code to Lego, probably, at least not what I do. There's like principles, like, and we've been talking about it this week or last week, like, let's just build something, don't get emotionally attached, build small, like just do something small, get it out there, and then we can completely rip it down if we want to and rebuild it, or just but just to get something out and not be emotionally attached to it. And I think working on a technique or having a small idea and building from there, I find really useful for that. So like I say, like the actual overall MOC itself might not actually be the important part for me.
It's just the practicing of the technique. I think maybe I don't do that because I feel like, I get all these pieces out, I got to take something apart that I'm not really attached to. But then I don't know why I'm thinking that, because Paige takes apart all my MOCs anyway, so I haven't got that worry. So maybe I should do it more. Maybe she will have a problem with me doing that more.
There is something nice about taking your MOCs apart, almost like taking Lego sets apart as well, about seeing like, so this is what I did here, because I'm really bad at just forgetting like how I built something or how Lego's built something. So like techniques and that I will forget really easily. And
it's only if you're doing stuff and you think, there's a really good technique they used on whatever set, so you go and find the instructions online, you're like, cool.
There's I think I find, because I've had it this week actually, where I've started building furniture for this medieval tavern, and I was like, they've got like a chair in the blacksmith and a table, and although I didn't end up using the techniques from them, it was nice to like just be able to get the height from, like, how high are they building? Because one thing I found is like building chairs and tables for minifigs, like they all look absolutely massive. They look like little kids sat in these chairs. And then when I saw that Lego did it, I was like, okay, they're doing it, so I don't feel too bad about it being a little bit oversized.
Minifig scale's kind of weird though as well, isn't it? Because it's not quite the same scale as like some of the bits they've got anyway. So I think some of the cars you can never get real minifigure scale because
no. I used to use brown brick as a filler. Snap when I push it down.
Back when I was younger, I really wanted to do I think it must have been maybe a Kashyyyk. I think it was probably a Kashyyyk MOC. So I bought a ton of 2x6, 4x6, and another maybe like 2x4 reddish brown plate. And when I'm talking tons, I probably bought like 400 or 500 of each, a piece off a Bricklink.
Wow.
Never got around to building the MOC, and then
That's the worst when you buy all the pieces and you don't.
Yeah, never got around to building the MOC. And then when I sort of got back into Lego and I started sorting through my parts, oh, I got all these plates, and then I started clicking some of it together, and you hear that like crunch. If you've just stepped on like a Malteser or something. And then you try to pull them apart, and you're like, and I did like 4 of them, and I was just like, I'm chucking all of these pieces away. Not one of these pieces are gonna last.
No.
So that was
brown is bad, but I've snapped some yesterday or this morning, in fact. Because I think KO was saying he's never seen brown break before, like, so because it's usually stuff that's a few years old, right? Like I think there's a period of time for like that ended about, was it 3 maybe 5 years ago?
Supposedly fixed.
Where something to do with like the pigment that was used in brown and maybe some dark red as well.
Dark red, and I think the old maybe more. I think they've fixed it a bit like less recently than the brown, but I think old dark blue, when dark blue was first introduced, I think that was quite bad as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a green 2x2 brick break on me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. that was odd. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only had, other than those reddish brown ones, I bought one of the sets that I bought when I got back into Lego. One of the old retired one was the Republic Cruiser from 2011, I think it was, or no, maybe 2011, and there was a couple of dark red pieces in that around the cockpit that broke. But luckily they were quite easy. There was like 1x4 plates, so they were quite
okay.
So it wasn't too bad. Yeah, dark red cones as well. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I've got any dark red cones.
All broke.
That's why.
I'm thinking that we're already at 10, so maybe we shouldn't do the technique review because we want to have a look at your pod racer. And we're already quite aware. Which is kind of, I initially were like, cool, we'll do like an hour and a half, 2 hour stream. And so apologies.
If we skip everything Sam built and we only do the stuff I completed, this could be like a short. So it might not take long at all.
Right, let me. I think I put these in a vague order that look quite good.
We can just kind of talk as and when about which different pieces.
So I think it would be good to just get a bit of an overview on how you guys started out on this project, like what it is to start with, how you guys came to the idea of doing it, how you went about organizing it, just how you worked collaboratively.
Okay, so so me and Sam, not that Sam Smith, I'm sure you guys are aware of him. He's loud enough. I'm sure you've seen him screaming in his stream somewhere. We were walking around. Actually, this started, I think it was when we did the lightsaber duels collab at Brick Festival, and we were talking about like potential future collab ideas. And I think we mentioned then that like it would be really cool to do a motorized pod race because it's something that we've never seen done. We wanted to do it on like a really big scale. If we thought it was like a big group thing, we could all build sections and we could get it quite big and things like that. And then we didn't really talk about it for a long time. And then me and Sam were walking around at Chicago and we were seeing all these massive builds, and we were like, okay, I think we really want to do something, and we really wanted to kind of like level up in terms of size, in terms of technicalities. And we just wanted to do something that really kind of pushed our Lego knowledge and kind of just implement something that would look really, really impressive on display at a show. And we come and we like talked about a few different things, and then we come around to the pod race. It was also something that very few people have tackled. I don't think we've really seen a like properly motorized one.
No,
no, I don't think so.
There's been a few people that have done like the stands, but not anything that's like a real big circuit. So so that's how we kind of started with that, and we were like, oh yeah, we could display it at Bricktastic. And yeah, so we kind of decided that as Chicago in June last year. And then, yeah, we had kind of just talked about it and discussed how we would do certain things. I decided that I really wanted to do kind of the cave section, which is something that I unfortunately didn't get done for Bricktastic. So this is actually, so Sam's stands are on 10 base plates, all like at the back of the MOC.
So that's 10 base plates.
Yeah, so it's 2 base plates deep and then 5 wide.
Okay. Yeah, so that gives you an idea of the scale.
Yeah. And then you've got 1, 2, and then you've got 3 base plates in between, and then another row of 5 at the end. There should have been another 3 each side. So it would have been another 3 base plates longer. So there's 6 base plates.
What, either side of this gap?
Yeah.
So it'd be 6 long on each.
Yeah. So that's still something that we're gonna go back and finish. But yeah, Sam did the stands. I did all of the rest of it. But yeah, it was really fun. Me and Sam, we do work very well together. We're the first to banter and stuff, but we actually did work really well together.
Well, the fact that you pulled this together, like, yeah, like absolute credit to you. Like, it looks amazing, man.
Yeah.
It's it's not like you live around the corner from each other. Right?
No.
No.
So one of my biggest fears was like we would have this really cool, impressive thing, and then like the gaps for the rods to come up through were going to be like off, and we would have to like completely remove it like that. It was in my head it was going to be something so simple that threw us off and like kind of ruined the whole thing. But in terms of the technicality, so what it is it's train track underneath, and so underneath underneath all the base plates, you can see there's 2 tracks for some of it, and then 1 like a single track around the front.
Okay.
And then there's a switch track on the other side that I kept having to manually moving, but that turned out to be a whole ton of fun. But
genuine, or I can
genuinely. It was it was one thing that never got old, because I got a bit disheartened because I was like, I turn around and I see Sam's stand is just incredible. That guy is a crazy builder. Like the detail.
He is very talented, isn't he?
Is,
so was it all of this? Was this Sam's as well?
All of that stuff on those 10 base plates were Sam. The one thing I did do better than him was the corners on the track. So that's like my claim. Like his are a lot wider than mine. I managed to get mine quite streamlined. Down here. Mine are quite streamlined. But yeah, that was my one. That was my one thing. But no, Sam is just like a crazy talented builder. And it was so fun to work with him and yeah, but there's a Lego motor running underneath. So on that, it was like we kind of had 2 separate cars. One had the Lego tray motor, and then one had the battery box. And then I wish I had some of the stuff on me or just better pictures to show, but then there would be like clear rods, clear technical lift arms that would stick up through the track, and then the pod engines, and then the pod itself with a minifigure was kind of mounted onto those. It looks like this. Yeah, we really had Sam's. So much of the weekend, we only had 1 pod running. Like it was.
Is this Sam's pod or was this yours?
That's Sam's. Yeah, so Sam did Sebulba. We flipped a coin. I got Anakin. Sam got Sebulba. I'm glad it worked out that way because Sam managed to pack so much detail into. So one of the things that we really wanted to do with this MOC is, Sam initially was like, no, let's just, because we want to motorize it, let's make it small. And I was like, the one thing I really wanted to do with this MOC was have minifigures fit into the pods. That was something that I really and I didn't want them to look like microfighters. I wanted them to look somewhat proportional or like somewhat like.
I think that's a good shout.
But because we wanted to do, or because I pushed so hard for that, Sebulba's pod is also significantly bigger than Anakin's. So to get that kind of size difference in it, this is kind of the smallest we could scale things at. Like this is kind of the smallest the pods could look with, like by having a minifigure in it, and then everything else kind of went off of that. And some of those rock work is we're trying to do like a forced perspective thing. And we're hoping we'll bring the sky up a lot higher, so we can get some nice shots of different things. But yeah, it's just I included the little speed pad there from the Skywalker, from the Complete Saga game. It's one of my
that's good detail. Would you put some of those what were they? You know the things that AV Bricks has got, like the big 3D printed one, the white, I can't remember what they're called.
The mini kits.
Yeah, the mini kits.
We haven't put any of those in, but I think I'm going to put one in the cave when I do the cave. But yeah, we need to do those.
What's mini kit?
The mini kit is like you collect like on each level you would collect like 10. It's like a little white canister.
Okay,
yes, recognize it if you saw it.
I remember that being seeing that on the Greg stream.
Yeah, they used to be in all the Lego games, so we'll definitely chuck a few of those in as well. But yeah, you can kind of see there how the lift arms come up with the pods, and there was a little lever where I had to manually switch the track. I will.
So you could go either. You could switch tracks.
Yeah.
Then,
there's like a little lever where
I can see why that's fun now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, because of Sebulba's pod being a lot heavier, it was generally a little bit slower. So what we'd do is we'd have like Sebulba going around, and then I would slowly catch up to it, and then I would try time it so he would be like right on his tail as it goes around that corner, and then Anakin would go in, and then I'd like press the button and speed him up and go over the speed pad and then like beat him to the finish line. And like it sounds so, just the kid in me was just like I'm not, even by the Sunday at like 4 o'clock, that was when like the batteries really started to die and we were like really losing out on battery for the pods. I was like, I'm still having a great time, like just playing with it. It was really fun just to sit in the middle of the MOC and play with it. So that was what they're telling kids that they couldn't have a go themselves more. I was like, nah, it's too fragile. I'm like, no, I'm having too much fun. Like,
did you get a lot of like good reception to, like, I'm guessing kids loved it? Right.
Yeah, there was, to be fair. There was a lot of people that were very impressed with it. A lot of kids coming up and being like younger kids, because I don't know, I guess because I've just always remember watching Star Wars, I forget that some parts of it are quite violent, and like some kids are just, like not old enough to watch it, and their parents are like, oh no, this is from Star Wars. In fact, there was quite a few times where parents would come up and be like, oh, this is the pod race from episode 1, and like that was really cool to see as well.
Because I guess it's adult. Well, yeah, because I saw this in the cinema as a young teenager. Was I even a teenager? Either way, I was young. So like adults now would probably know this better than young kids.
The film's 25 years old this year. It just happened to be a coincidence that we built this on the 25th anniversary. But yeah, it was just a crazy ambitious project. This was one of the sections that I did that I was actually really happy with. I've had many conversations with Ollie melting down about work and like how I could get stuff to look good, and I was trying to implement
the outcome though is
fantastic,
mate. It's so well done.
There's that curve bit as well, just before the ramp.
That's one of my favorite parts of it.
Is that from the scene, or is it from the film, or did you like make up yourself? Or
the rock work? So the houses are in the film, and I basically just took some screenshots of different ones, and then I just built things that were kind of like roughly similar. Nothing. The houses, the housing position isn't very specific at all, and the rock work isn't trying to really replicate anything. but I had on the like, so I worked from left to right with this rock work. So you can see there that the rock work kind of staggers backwards. And what I was having a problem with is like it ended up getting quite top heavy. So that's when that's when I had to go went on the right when the slopes like really point out. I started playing around with the idea on that technique at that top bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that rock because I was using the inverted slopes to kind of bring the rock outwards because it's a canyon, so it's a very vertical piece of rock work. But yeah, I was really quite happy with how that turned out in the end. It took a while, but I did get there.
It looks amazing. Yeah, really well done on that. And it's big.
And when you're saying about you're going to extend the sky brick color there, would you have it to the level of these guys? To the same sort of height there.
So the rock work is the plan. Yeah. I've designed the rock work so that the sky can just like go straight behind it.
Right.
And then it'll be about that tall. The cave will probably be about that tall as well. So that won't have any sky behind it. But the rock work on the side you can just see. That will have the sky a lot taller. It's just again, it's like looking back at my past builds as we've seen today, like trying to get photos of some things, or it's that kind of like immersive photography that looks that I really, really love, and I've not been able to do to a great length, but I know I'm going to be able to get some really cool shots of this when the pods are going past.
There are some already. Let's see what we've got. So I think this one was, I want to say this one was from Martin, I think.
Yeah.
There are so even like this, where you can see the action of it. There are some really immersive shots. So I'm just skipping through.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nick, shout out to everyone that's handed in photos. Nick did a whole Bricktastic Google Drive of stuff. If anyone didn't go to Bricktastic or did and they had their MOCs there, Nick's probably got some photos of them. So just message Gecko on Instagram, and I'm sure he'll happily share the link with you guys, or reach out to me. I think he's happy to share around. He took some insane photos. I think we're gonna rob him when we get to play it. Yeah, they're getting
does a good job of like blurring out the stuff in the back, like really focusing on the MOC itself, and then it like doesn't mean that it's such a big thing.
Exactly,
it hasn't got like that backdrop, right?
Yeah,
but I'm guessing I'm guessing he's got a decent camera.
He's got very good. Yeah. He was. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but yeah, he certainly looked the part, snapping all the things. This is so these are Sam's stands, and he was just chucking in as many different minifigures from as many different themes as he could. That were all like alien, somewhat. That look somewhat alien-like.
Did he have an ET in there as well? Did she manage to find one?
Yes, I had an ET. I think that's further over. Apparently, one thing. I think that's Fabulous.
Yeah, it looks like yeah.
But we learned something. A woman come up to us and like, "Oh, do you have Indiana Jones in here?" And we were like, "Oh no, that would be a good one to kind of throw in with the ties to Star Wars and stuff." And they were like, "Oh yeah, because apparently," or like she was saying that Indiana Jones was actually in this scene. He was like walking up the steps of the.
Oh really?
Yeah, apparently they used that in there. So I was like, "Oh okay, so we'll definitely have to put Indiana Jones."
You must have about 50 Indiana Jones from all of your parts cards.
I have to. But yeah, on the other side, I don't know if we quite got photos of it, but I have quite a lot of sig figs. I was just bundling all of the ones I could find quickly. I've definitely got more.
Guys, right?
Yeah, me and Sam got top spot. There's our sig.
Yeah, nice. Got Jabba there as well.
Yeah,
Pork as well. I love it. Yeah, is that Dumbledore as well?
Dumbledore, yeah. Some kid come up to us and like, "What's Dumbledore doing at the pod race?" We're like, "I remember him from that scene." Like,
there's ET. What's this orange guy?
That's from Toy Story.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
There's from Toy Story. There's some Alien Conquest. There was so the two single most popular figures that got shouted out. Jabba was probably third. or that big slug guy. But the two figures that got pointed out as like kids coming up and going, oh my god, it's such and such, was I can't remember which. I think it was Michelangelo, the Ninja Turtle. We had him in there. I didn't realize that like every kid that come up knew of Michael. I didn't know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had like a bit of a resurgence. Like
there's a new film out, I think, isn't there?
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
It was out. Was it just before Christmas? I think it was out.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was really popular, and then much to my delight, Stitch. We had Stitch in the MOC, and everyone. He's still popular. This is good.
He's still got it.
Yeah.
Mark, there wasn't a mini doll in there, and for the next time we set that up, I will rectify that. Same with Batman as well. How do we not think to put Batman in there? He's so close to this Lego. We need to do that. We need to like have a proper, like, this was a bit of a just Sam grabbing any minifigure he could, and then me putting the sig figs in there. But we do want to like curate a bit of a population in there of things that are tied to Lego, like having as many different themes and stuff in there. Like Batman would be a good one. Emmett would be great, like Wildstar, things like like associations to big Lego things would be really cool.
Yeah, nice. Are there space, like, they're space friends now, right? Have they got like spacesuits and stuff? Do you know?
They've definitely got space suits.
They have
mini dolls that are kind of like non-human.
Yeah, I don't know if they are. Have they got some aliens in?
There's a new one coming out, isn't there?
Space set. I don't know if it's that one or if it's like the city ones. I think they do, because I think that ties City and Friends, because they've got the same aliens in. But
perfect. Okay, I'll have to have a look at some of those then, and definitely get some of those there. I think honestly, just having like the original Friends lineup, just like chilling there with some cocktails or something would be funny anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was fun. Like I said, Sam's build part of this was crazy good. That platform there, just on the right hand side, it works up and down. It needs to be fully motorized, but there's a platform there. There's like Jar Jar, Shmi. We got a custom Shmi figure for it. Qui-Gon.
Okay.
That's their little like viewing tower. But yeah, that goes up and down. So we need to motorize that. But yeah, that's what we managed to get to Bricktastic. And there's still tons more. Ian, I think, asked like, do we have a date or location when we want to get this set up? So we want to have it completely built the next time we set it up. When we did the Scarif display, we actually hired a hall that was just around the corner from me and set it up there. And I think for when me and Sam want to film our like finale content, we're going to do the same. So we'll set it up, hire out the hall probably for the day, and then probably do like if people want to come along and have a look, then they're more than welcome to kind of come and hang out for the day. We might do a couple of parts drafts or something, get some pizza and things like that. Yeah, just have a day hanging out. But
would you
I'm a fiend for it, man. I just love it.
Would you do like a time lapse of you guys putting it all together if you're in like a space?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's just what I think it's one of those things that when you get to a convention, you have definitely more time. And to me, I turn up late because we got stuck in traffic. So like you just kind of forget. But when we're like actually having a dedicated day with the sole purpose of being like building this, getting it all up, then we'd do a time lapse of us getting it together. So there's, like I said, there's still a lot more we want to do. The end goal is to have, again, another 6 base plates to extend it out. Where the dark tan bottom bits are, that's going to be a whole enclosed cave at the end.
Okay, but the cave will be run along the bottom.
Yeah. Nice. There's like on the other side of that is Tusken Turn, and there'll be like the Tusken Raiders shooting at the pods. We want to have that part.
Okay.
And then again, I guess the biggest things, or the most substantial changes after the like physical building will be, we want to include lights on all the pods. So on the like engine bits, we want to have lights. and then in the cabs as well. And then we want to make it like fully automated, so we don't have to use remote controls.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So we want to have like sensors on each of the pods, and then we'll have like colored tiles around, and then when it goes over the speed pad, we can have it speed up a bit. We want the switch tracks to be automated, so it would detect one pod going over it, and then it can switch and things like that. So in theory, we want to be able to step away. Yeah, that's with the color and distance sensors.
Right.
Sam's got a really cool feature in 2 of the stands, where he's got it randomized, so if he turns a gear, the minifigures jump up and down.
The Mexican way, wasn't it? Yeah, he was talking about Mexican.
And again, we want to have that operated so when a pod comes past, then the figures start jumping up and down.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah, and then we want like sound effects. We've got 2 custom figures that we're getting made. One is the pod racer announcers. Well, they're technically 2 figures, I guess, because they're 2 people. Well, 1 body, 2 heads. But we want going to include those, and then we've also got Ben Quadraneros, who's one of the other pod racer, who's one of the other drivers. So we may build a custom pod for him, or we may just have his pod crash. He didn't even get off the start line in the film, so he might just have crashed on the side.
Was this the one that went like all the 4 ways?
The 4 ones, but yeah. Yeah.
Are you planning to have other pods on there?
Yes. So what we've said, and I think it's and again, answer to Ian's question, we want to do a whole day where we set this up and do like a whole film and content, and like I said, people can come along if they so desire. But we want to take it back to Bricktastic next year, fully complete, and in a position where we're like really, really happy with it. And so for Bricktastic next year, we're going to invite people. It's kind of like an open invite. If people want to design their own pods and have a go with them going around the track, then they are more than welcome. We want wacky, wild ideas from like all different themes.
I just thought of an idea. It's not even, you wouldn't even need a pod. You just literally need 2 minifigures. You could have Roadrunner and Coyote.
Oh, so good. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. But yeah, so over summer, once we've got like towards the end of the mock, we'll kind of put out like a post or whatever about if people want to design them, then they can, and they can come have a go. Batpod, yeah, anything is welcome. We'll have like it needs to be. Sam, like, so for example, like really wacky and crazy, Sam wants to do the Venga Bus and have the Venga Bus song go as it goes round.
I'm surprised he even knows what the Venga Bus is. Fair enough.
So like that's where we're at with like what, like nothing is too wild or crazy.
That's good.
So yeah, all things are welcome.
Yeah, Medieval Pod was what came to my mind.
Yeah, Thunderbird 2, fantastic. But yeah, so that's the plan. That's what we've got to do. I do look back at it like I see Sam's stands, and his just look absolutely insane. Sam was, I think, 3 base plates short. I think he had like 2 of the straights this side and then 1 the other side. And yeah, I look at the rock work and I was like really happy with that. I was a bit gutted that I couldn't get more of it complete, like especially the cave and stuff. But we know what we've got to do. We kind of, whilst again we had been in the kind of design stages for quite a while and like we had talked about it, we really only knuckled down building at like New Year's. So
oh wow, okay. So you got 2
months work, and you kind of look at it like that.
That is a lot done, though.
It's kind of crazy. I think I always look at it from the super critical side as like people walking up to the convention don't know that side of it, and they can see like parts that are clearly unfinished. So that's the thing that keeps lingering on with me. But we've got unfinished business with Bricktastic. It will be back there next year. And in all its finished glory for sure. So I'm excited. I'm past the point where I'm like disappointed now. I think I'm like excited and looking forward to getting back to it.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah, because I was definitely stuck in that like whilst I was kind of at the convention and a little bit after. But yeah, I think I've moved on from that now. There we go. There he is.
And also, you like, if this is your base for it, right? Like, if you can only build on top of this, like, you know that this works. You've got this. You can display this. Like, you could do nothing to it and display it again, right?
It's much less daunting now going and doing the cave or going and doing certain aspects of it because we know like, I mean, other than like a 2-second clip in a TikTok, I'd not even tried the functionality with it, like going through the plates, and I definitely hadn't done it like going around the corners. And I thought, like, what if we get to the convention and it just derails every time it goes around the corner? Like, what are we gonna do? But luckily it didn't, unless it went a bit quick. It didn't. But it was also great. It was also a fantastic learning experience in terms of so for example, like Anakin's pod is significantly lighter than Sebulba's, and if it did go a bit too quickly, it would derail, or it would kind of throw itself. So I'm going to get some of those weighted bricks and put those on. Mario Kart, yeah. See, like I said, there's so many good ideas, and we honestly welcome them all. We really do welcome them all. So yeah, in the summer we'll put like a dimensions that you kind of got to stick to, and
dimensions.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to, oh my god, Andy, Polar Bricks, Carrie, and Ian, Eric. Like, so many people come up and helped us set up, that we are really appreciative of, because it certainly wouldn't have even looked anything like this had they not come and helped. So shout out to Simon as well. Yeah, so many people came and were giving us help. Some were more helpful than others, Rosie. But no, it was really good, and it was a good bonding experience, right, Carrie? Like, we I think. But yeah, Carrie was, so Hugh from Brickset, for the, there was like a couple of, I would occasionally lose, so like Anakin's pod by the end of the weekend looked so bare because like fins had come off and they'd like dropped under the thing. It wasn't I was just like, Anakin's pod looks nothing like it should do now, because I've got to get the Craggle at it, I think. So it's a bit more durable, but no, it was a really good experience. It was an incredibly ambitious, it was and is still an incredibly ambitious project. But I'm really glad me and Sam tried to tackle it, and I'm happy to say that it will get to the place where we kind of envisioned it being. And I'm looking forward to that and seeing it. And like I said, including as many people as possible if they wanted to, if you guys want to design your own pods and have a go with it. So
do you reckon then that seeing it like this kind of gave you a bit more energy to think, right, come on, we're there, keep pushing on, sort of things?
I think so. Because like Ollie said, me and Sam don't live next door to each other. This was the first time we'd bought stuff together. That's what I mean. I was just like, even if we're like a couple of studs out with certain parts of it, we had to make sure all the heights were exactly the same, all the borders lined up and matched, because there's no like specific like heights and coordination stuff that we were doing with that. We wanted that to be like as random as possible. So, but yeah, seeing it and like, just I think having the joy, like I said, the one thing that I loved the whole weekend was just playing with it. So the joy that brings has like really inspired me to be like, okay, I really want to smash this and make this like the best thing I've ever done in Lego. And Sam feels exactly the same way too. We just needed that week to not look at it.
Do you think you've leveled up now? Are you only going to do big MOCs now?
Man, but part of me wants to be like, yeah, like you've got to top the last one, but it's just so unrealistic. I think, like I said, because this ended up being like a 25th anniversary for the Phantom Menace, me and Sam have kind of talked about doing, for like each of the prequel films, doing a big build for the anniversary of soon to be Attack of the Clones and then Revenge of the Sith as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So we might have something cooking for that in the next few years. But me and Sam have both we're like very aspirational people with what MOCs we've got to do. So what MOCs we want to do, should I say? And so I think we'll go back and finish up other projects that we want to do and start some other ones in the meantime. We got a few years till Attack of the Clones 25th anniversary, so we can.
You got a city to build as well.
I got a whole Disney city to pop up. But yeah, no, it was an incredible experience, and Bricktastic was just awesome. Getting to hang out with everyone and having a MOC there and having like a base for the convention was really nice. It was a shame to be the opposite side of the hall to literally anyone, but
that was a bit of a shame. It's like
yeah. But other than that, it was awesome.
Oh, fantastic! Well, absolutely, like massive, well done. Getting it done as as anyone who watched your streams saw, like there's a lot of work that went into it.
A lot of stress, a lot of work.
And there's a lot of work as well, I suppose, that people watching didn't see as well. So like all the discussions between you and Sam, and like all the studio planning and just measuring, we're going to have it this tall for, as you're saying, for there was a lot of coordination, and I think it's good that me and Sam do jump in Discord calls quite a lot, so we could quite like relax. We started off with great intentions to be like, once a week we're going to have a meeting where we chat and we sort of things. We ended up kind of doing that in Discord calls, like in other people, but with other people there, but no, I think we did a pretty good job. At least in the meantime, we've got unfinished business, but yeah, we're happy with how it is for now. Yeah, we should be. It was really good.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think that brings us to a pretty good point to end on. I think that's rounds up nicely. Thank you, mate, for coming on. It's been awesome.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome chatting with you guys. It's been a lot of
fun. What are you up to for the near future? Have you got anything you want to plug? Are you doing anything interesting in Lego? Taking a break?
I will be displaying. Originally, we had hoped we thought it was just going to be so much easier. We're so naive to the work that it goes into setting up one of these things. So we had originally planned to take the pod race to Reading. We're now not doing that. I'm going to take the Beggars Canyon section, which was all that like nice rock work. And I'm actually going to build a custom N1 Starfighter because he actually flies through the canyon in the Mandalorian. So I'm going to build that for Reading, and that's what I'm going to take. I think Sam's going to take a ton of his mechs. Which are really cool. He's got a great collection of those, so it's going to be really awesome to see those all lined up. Plug your Planet Tek. The Planet Tek memberships have been chaotic for the last 2 weeks. It's been me stress building. I try not to have a breakdown, but I do very much appreciate all of my members. I try to stream or post a members vlog once a week. It's been a lot of streams more recently because of the pod race, and I will generally be building all my MOCs and stuff for members, and then later posting like public videos. So if you do want a bit of a heads up on or a bit of an insight as to what MOC builds I'm working on, then that is something. But yeah, other than that, it'll just be doing my normal build stream. You're stressed. Well, there we go.
I have to say your breakdown was a bit of a highlight of like.
Thanks, Ollie. I think on ridiculous, ambitious projects just so I can watch me crumble.
I think it's the late night slowly unraveling as the conversations. You're sort of building stuff. You're concentrating on this, and the conversations were just getting crazier and crazier. And it was like,
I think like right towards the the end, we did a 2 truths, 1 lie, because that's just where we're at like midnight. Right. Like, what is going on? Like, I used to have all my StreamYard hours streaming, and I got told like, hey, you can't stream anymore with StreamYard. I was like, oh great. But no, they are a lot of fun. They are a very chilled hangout thing. I also do like sorted out streams on there, so just like dedicating like an hour and a half or so where any of the members can kind of just jump on and we kind of just hang out and try to be productive for a little bit of time. So that's a lot of fun as well. But yeah, I think just over the next like month, get ready for Reading, try post a video or 2, and then it'll be back onto the pod race, I think.
Yeah, cool.
Getting it done.
Yeah, sweet. Nice.
Really cool. Oh, excuse me.
Oh. Nice. What about you guys? You're planning for Bricktastic already?
Yeah, I am.
Clever man, sensible man.
Well, I've got as far as base plates, and it's like. But the thing is, it's ideally it'd be rock working. It's like, oh no, not in studio. So again, there are other bits that would need to go. I was speaking to someone about pointing me in a direction of how to do a couple of bits. So that's all I'm saying. If I say too much, you see, then people will expect it, and if I don't say anything too much about it, then it'll be like.
I need that lesson. I need that lesson tattooed on my forehead. Carrie, every time I say, "Oh, I'm going to do something," she's like, "Why do you keep promising this? Shut up!" Like,
under promise, over deliver.
Yeah, yeah. I really need to learn that.
Nice. And you've got London Calling, I'm guessing, coming up, guys.
Yes.
I assume you're on every week, most weeks.
Yeah. So be on to not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Friday. Yeah, I'm on that, and then see. Then our next one then is not next week, the week after. I can't remember what the date is.
2 weeks. It'll be the 20th. It's the 6th day, isn't it?
20th sounds about right.
Yeah.
Probably the 20th. Yeah, 8 p.m. UK time, and I need to triple check, but I believe we've got Brick Stage Pass coming on.
Nice.
Craig.
Yes.
Awesome. So some more Bricktastic chat, because that build,
awesome.
Yeah, that Batman build is amazing. And
there's loads of little details that you know. I think when we did like the segment in London Calling, the camera, you see the bits on the camera, but when you see it up close, there's all these little features. It's like, well, the camera didn't pick that up, but look how fantastic that is.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where just the way it was built, obviously there's a lot of structural stuff at the front, so you really could, like, if you were there, you could really peer into it and see some cool details and stuff.
Really, really cool.
Yeah, it looked amazing. And I was impressed that it was, because he's got like a massive castle built and a city, I think. I assumed it was going to be the castle he's been building, but no, he's just working on Batman, like Wayne Manor and the Batcave, just in the background. So awesome. So on that note, I'll say good night.
Yep. And thanks for watching, everybody. And
thanks for having me,
guys.
Yeah, hit the like button if you haven't, and don't forget to check out Tek's channel as well. All the details should be.
Yes, please do. It is awesome.
Good stuff.
And Craig has confirmed. Excellent. And see everyone in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching.
See you later. Bye bye. Oh, where's my mouse gone? There we go. Keep moving. See you later.